Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another Monday night live stream. This one being our Christmas special, the last one before the big man arrives. So good evening, everybody. How are you doing? I apologise for missing last Monday. I wasn't very well then, but as you can see, I'm back to fighting fit now, so everything is good. Let's see who we've got in the chat tonight. So we had Mark Wrighton was in nice and early. Good evening to you, mate. Palmsy was in as well. Saying if you aren't wearing a costume, I'm going to be severely disappointed. I don't own a costume, mate, so I thought I'd have a little bit of kind of Christmas decoration around the screen here. And I did wear my Christmas t-shirt for you. Christmassy as in like a Christmas dinosaur. And like what we got here. We got Christmas mince pies and candy canes and beer. And we've got like kind of like a Santa Claus with sunglasses on. So it's about as Christmas as I get, really. We got Buzian as well. Seeing if the kids weren't scared of Santa before, they will be now with that thumbnail. That was just a photograph of me behind an image of Santa, mate. Marcus is seeing who else is hoping Andy will be dressed like Santa. I did try and get my hands on a decent little Santa hat, but to no avail. I couldn't find one. Good evening, ASDF. How are you doing, my friend? Ortega's in as well, saying he couldn't stay, but looking forward to see that in the rerun. Thank you very much, mate. Who else have we got? Lord Maiden, good evening to you as well. Peter Cooman, Jeffrey Higdon, good evening, gentlemen. Christian Reeves says good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to everybody. Yes, I guess we get many different time zones in here. Just making sure my microphone was working there. I had this horrible feeling I hadn't switched it on. Who else we got? Robert Zunk, good evening to you, mate. Peter Nicholas said he's also gone for the classic white beard, although it looks more along the lines of, these are not the droids. Nice one, mate. Good evening, Glenn Griffin. Hello. Peter saying the bells. A little bit of Christmas music, why not, eh? John S. still says, evening all. Main thing I'm hoping for 2021 is being able to play more games. Well, we'll see what happens in 2021. So what I'm going to do is, I think next week, so between Christmas and New Year, I think what we'll do is we'll do a bit of a year's roundup. We'll maybe look forward to 2021. I'll get some of you lot as well to kind of submit some of the stuff you've been working on in the next week, and I'll put together a bit of a kind of like a showcase of the BlackJack Arenas about what you've been working on during 2020. So I think next week will be kind of like a year in review and like looking forward to the stuff we hope for next year. But tonight, we're just going to have a bit of a ramble. We're going to have a bit of a fun. We're just going to have a chat. You can ask any questions you want. We can have a talk about some of the stuff that's gone on this year, sort of games-wise and things. We can talk about what you're looking forward to. But generally, next week will be the kind of like the review, and I'll talk about specific things. But tonight's just going to be a bit of fun. I've got my beer here. We've got the Christmas t-shirt on. We've got the decorations up. We're just going to have a bit of a round the year off of what's been a pretty shitty year. We're just going to kind of round it off with a nice chilled, fun night. So I hope you're all kind of relaxed tonight as well. So Merry Christmas to all of you. Christian says, nice music choice. I now have a subscription to like a kind of like a music sort of site where I can get lots of different kinds of music, because I was getting sick of hearing the same bits of music where everybody gets the free stuff offline. So I've invested some of my money now back into a monthly subscription for music. So yes, so the Christmas music came from that today. Where else we at? Barry Kleiber saying howdy. Good afternoon, I think it is, Barry, is it? Hello to Tony Howell as well. Good evening, Rui. I'll find that is before jumping away there. We've got Kieran in as well from Odd-Sided Dice Podcast. Good evening to you, mate. Mark Corley saying, hey gang, hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is staying strong and positive during the silly season. Yes, I mean, we might have a little chat about kind of staying positive and stuff, but one thing I am going to avoid at all costs tonight, I want no negative kind of COVID chat. I want no kind of Debbie Downers about how shit things are. They're awful. They're awful for everyone. But let's have a positive, let's have a good end to the year tonight. Marcus, good evening to you, mate, as well. Hello, Tasty Brain Drain. Good evening to Kirsten as well. Nice to see you in nice and early. I normally see you kind of like late on a Wednesday, so nice to see you in tonight. Simon Morton, good evening, mate. James Brace says, ho, ho, ho. Robert saying, love the sweater. I'm not a big fan of Christmas sweaters, I'll be honest, mate. So this is just a little t-shirt. My son's got one that matches, but his, unfortunately, doesn't have cans of beer on, as you can understand. Who else we got? We've got Tizzy Brain Drain saying, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, mate. Ben Davies saying, evening all as well, or morning. Right. Peter Nicholas says, effort appreciated, mate. I mean, I don't really have, we don't have like a lot of like sort of decorations hanging in the house. We've got a tree up and stuff and like little kind of bits of Christmas decoration, but it's not like we've got like lights everywhere or tinsel and stuff hanging everywhere. So I didn't really have anything spare to decorate the room with, so I thought I'd decorate the screen instead. Adam's in as well. Hello, mate. He said he's just jumping on the treadmill while listening to your sultry tones. That's it, mate. Keep the exercise up. Good morning, or good afternoon, sorry. Good evening, even Andrew Fairbanks. He says, don't worry, I'm here. Bobby Clark, good evening to all. Bobby, did I see that you'd won an award, mate, at the weekend for your in the Armies on Parade? I'm pretty sure it was yours, mate, but I didn't see your name on it. If it was, let me know, mate, because it was pretty... I'm 99.9% sure it was yours. Who else we got? Duffy Mikowski, hello. He says, ho, 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 from Levittown. He says, nice to see so much of the naughty list in one place. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we've got. I think we've got Santa's naughty list all here. What's that one? James Zahn donated 5 through Super Chat. What does it say? He says, just popping in for a minute to say Merry Christmas, hoping to catch the replay later. Thank you very much, James Zahn. Very, very kind of you, mate. I appreciate that. Marcus says, we've got VJ in as well. Good morning, VJ. How are you? We've got Marcus in. I should say this, but I'm baking cookies right now. My wife and my little boy did make some nice little Christmas cupcakes today. So yeah, I could smash in a Christmas cookie right now. Stu says, good evening all. Is it Christmas already? You're not excited, mate? It's almost Christmas. It's as close to... Well, actually, we're going to have another live stream on Wednesday, but the hobby hangout's a bit more relaxed and stuff. Although tonight's going to be pretty relaxed. But the hobby hangout's the hobby hangout. So we'll be doing that on Wednesday still. So I'll get a chance to say Merry Christmas to you all again then. But it's going to be less kind of Christmas community focused. That's what tonight is about anyway. It's about celebrating Christmas with all of you lot really, and just kind of hanging out and getting a chance to have a chat with you all. What we got there as well. VJ saying love the Christmas border. It was very hastily put together this afternoon, mate. Just with my Photoshop skills of stretching things out and trying to make one that fit. John says, I do reckon with a fair few years and an awful lot of port, Andy has a secondary career as Santa. Speaking of a secondary career, I actually shaved my head today. So this is the first time. What's this one? Robert Zunk donated $20 through Super Chat. Robert, thank you very much. That is very, very kind, mate. Thank you, my friend. Yes, I shaved my head for the first time today, like proper, like razor, as opposed to just like an electric shaver thing. And it's weird. My head feels like leather. It's the weirdest feeling I've ever had in my life. I'm not sure if I like it or not yet, but it might not look that different to you, but to me it feels really weird. But yeah, I might have to wear a nice big hat to cover the bald head. But yeah, I think a few more years on the rum, I get a nice red nose. I can be a Santa. Vijay's in the sweater looks pretty cool too. Marcus is in shortbread and chocolate chip. Oh, nice, mate. Merry Christmas, Scott Longworth. How are you, mate? Andrew saying he landed on an AOS Star Drake for birthday. His in-laws refused to buy models and his parents spoil him on the other hand. It's funny, actually. I was listening to a podcast today. The Average Gamer podcast, for those of you that don't listen to it. It's Lee Russ, who's often in the chat on the night time. He hosts that podcast. And they were talking about what was on their Christmas lists. And he mentioned that his parents and stuff don't buy him models and things. And he said, like, it's weird. They'll buy me pretty much anything I ask for if it's something I want. But when it comes to models and things, they won't buy it. And he said it's almost like they kind of think, oh God, like he used to play with them when he was a kid. Why is he still playing with them now? Kind of thing. And there's a little bit of resentment about buying like Warhammer toys and stuff. It's funny that I think there's maybe an element of people not wanting to get the wrong thing. But yeah, I think some people like I think unless you really kind of see it like that's what I want, just buy me that. It's not very Christmassy, but yeah. Ed's Handley as well. Good evening, mate. It's in Merry Christmas. Derek Hodge saying that's quite a t-shirt. Yes, mate. Like I said, this probably comes out like once or twice over Christmas and then goes back in the drawer for next year. I think I've worn this. This is probably the third time I've ever worn this t-shirt. Yes. Tasty Brain Drain says, what type of beer? I am drinking Bud Light, mate. I like Bud Light because it's not quite as gassy as normal Budweiser. And when I'm kind of drinking quite a bit over the Christmas, it's nice to have something that's a little bit easy going. And tonight, obviously, I don't want to be kind of like gassed up tonight. So I've got a couple of bottles. I've got some spare ones as well. So, yes, that's what we're on tonight. Peter says, believe it or not, I already baked some mince pies. I don't like mince pies, mate. I'll be honest. Glenn Griffin, hello, mate. Jeffrey Higgins says, what exactly is a mince pie? It's a sweet mince pie, mate. So it's not like mince, like minced beef. It's like sweet mince with like fruit and stuff in it. Like minced up. I don't really know the details of what's in it, but yes, that's what a sweet mince pie. It's more like a dessert than like a pie, like we would say, like a mince pie that you would have with chips or something. Peter says he's rushing through some Imperial Guard so he can put his bolt action Germans together for Christmas. Brian Sains in as well. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too, sir. Kirsten says, yeah, shifts have switched from 2 till 10 till 7:30 till 3:30. That's not too bad then, is it? At least you're getting finished at a good time now. William Jones says that's a splendid Christmas sweater. Yes, it is a t-shirt, mate. You might not have saw my arms yet, but yes, it's definitely a bit of a Bobby Dazzler. Clint Dawson, good evening to you, mate. He says hello and Merry Christmas from Canada. Who else we got? James is saying he's just started watching this show called The Mandalorian. Any of you heard of it? No, it's I can't say it's really been on my radar, mate. It was amazing, mate. Wait till you catch up, mate, and then we can have a chat about it. Tony says he's over the moon. He's just got a mail that Zombicide Night of the Living Dead has been shipped, so he may get his Christmas present. Nice one, mate. Hopefully that'll get there in time. I'm expecting a delivery as well. I got a shipment notice at the weekend, or it might have been on Friday, and it should be delivered on Christmas Eve, up till 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve. So I might have some new minis to be working on over Christmas. Ted saying, evening all, greetings from the Lead Belt. Good evening, Ted. John Estelle is saying that mince pie is currants, dried orange and other stuff and spices in a pastry case, and it's only eaten at Christmas, and it's one of his favourites. Or mince and onion pie is beef and gravy. Yeah, you can have it like with a bit of cream or something like that on them as well. I'm not a big fan of mince pies, but everybody else seems to love them. Barry says, if anyone getting into new Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the core board game has a bit of Space Hulk feel. I picked it up yesterday. I've not picked it up, mate. It didn't really kind of grab me from what I'd seen from the playthroughs and things. I've got plenty of other things I need to be getting on with, but I've heard the people that have picked it up have been happy with it, so I'm glad to hear that. Simon Edge, Merry Christmas, mate. How are you doing, fella? Nice to see you. I hope you're well too, mate. Brian says I'm getting the basement living room ready for a date night with his wife, so it won't be too long. A date night in the basement, mate, eh? There you go. There's your Christmas sorted. Tasty Brain Joanne saying I definitely want to give it a try. It looks good. Yes, I thought you were talking about mince pies there at first, mate, but you weren't. You were talking about Aliens, weren't you? Of course. Sounds interesting, especially the beef one. Mince beef pie. I always forget how much we end up talking about food on these streams because there's so many sort of differences around the world of I can't believe things like mince pies don't kind of travel across the globe. Tony Booth Leiden, good evening, mate. This is a day or so after razor shaving my head, it turns into Velcro and my hat gets stuck. That's normally exactly what happens to me, mate. The day I've kind of shaved my head. Tony Howell, have I just missed a thing from you? Happy Christmas, mate. Get you and your lovely lady a nice wine. Thank you very much, mate. That's very, very kind of you. I do appreciate that. Let's have a look. We were just talking about my shaved head there, weren't we? Yeah, if the day I've just kind of shaved it with an electric shaver is the day it's kind of like fuzz. If I've been wearing a woolly hat, there's bits of wool stuck all over my head. But I just decided today, I just thought I'd try kind of proper Bic razor and kind of thing, proper Gillette it. But yeah, it feels weird. Where were we up to here? Chris Dawes is saying happy Christmas. Hello, Chris Dawes. Hope you're well, mate. Glenn Griffin saying he should get some of them James Workshop digital vouchers. I think it was weird. I mean, it's not weird. Everybody, it's each to their own. But I think it was almost a case of they begrudge spending their money on kids' toys. He says in inverted commas. Where else are we up to? Just Kev saying good evening, guys and girls. Good evening, just Kev. Andrew Fairbanks says never go all the way, just use an electric hedge trimmer with no guard. Never had issues unless the razor is off and then it will cut on the end. I've always just used an electric trimmer, mate, but I just for a change I just thought I'd see what it was like, see how much longer it lasts, because I normally end up shaving my hair every kind of 3 or 4 days because it grows pretty fast what there is of it. Daniel Engel says mince pie can't be as bad as fruitcake. Worst gift ever. Yeah, I'm not a fan of fruitcake. I'm not a fan of Christmas pudding either. But there you go. Vaughan Wood, Merry Christmas to you as well, matey. Andrew Fairbanks says, next time you shave a mohawk first. Andrew, if I could shave a mohawk, I would not be shaving my head, mate. There's a distinct lack of hair in this particular area here, right around the front bit, which is why it gets shaved. It's kind of thick everywhere else, but if I could leave a mohawk, mate, I wouldn't be shaving it off. Marcus says, I hope the Ghost of Warhammer Past brings me some Warcry Bring Us a Death book before Christmas. I've not even looked into those new books yet, mate, to be fair. Mark saying you don't like mince pies, heresy. No. I'd much rather have like a scone or something like that. Duffy Mikowski, good evening, mate. Said he's working on his Orc Odd Boys. VJ saying his wife got the shipment notice that his gift's on its way. Not sure if it's War in the Hold or a Martyr, but it's going to be a morning surprise. Nice one, mate. Pusey saying Ginsters over mince pies. Nikolai's Ginsters pasty, mate. Yeah. Good evening, Steve Evans as well. Hello to you, fella. And Bobby says, yes, his Ultramarines got second place. They put on my client's name as he entered it, only to later find out it should have been my name as I did the work. I thought, do you know what it is? I thought I'd seen the name, and I thought, nah, I'm pretty sure that's not his name. And I forgot to. I was going to tag you on Instagram to see if it was yours. I was 99.9% sure it was your picture. Congratulations, mate, on your silver award for that. It should have been a gold because it was awesome, but silver's not bad, mate. Well done. Scott says he's looking at getting the Neverborn for Malifaux. Which ones are you thinking of, mate? Which Neverborn ones? I've got the Pandora ones, which are pretty cool, but I think I got the Halloween special ones. Simon says, you're looking amazing. Love the channel and love to all the family. Thank you very much, Simon. I mean, for those that don't know, Simon and I used to work together when I had my old job. And I've not seen him since probably March time. So, yeah, I hope you're well, mate. I hope you and the family's well. Hope you have a lovely Christmas too, fella. Andrew says, we don't talk about food on the stream. Booze, on the other hand. Wednesdays, we seem to have had a lot of chat about alcohol and food lately, even though that's not what this channel's about. We do wave it off onto that a little bit. Tom Ferris, good evening, mate. He said he's a bit late, but howdy from Texas. Howdy to you, Tom. Hope you're well, mate. Bruce is saying, hey, all from Texas as well. Got all the Texans in. He says he got a nice package on Saturday. Infinity Defiance Wave 1. Very nice, mate. I was very close to picking that up on the late pledge on Defiance, and right at the last minute I decided not to because I thought I've got a million things. I don't need something else. Like that ever stopped us before. But yeah, I hope you're happy with the stuff, mate. Adam saying, love me some fruit mince pies. It's one of the reasons I'm currently on the treadmill. Yeah, that makes sense, mate. Andrew saying, not another Texan. We get loads of Texans in here. It must be just the northeast accent must just ring true with the Texans. John saying, if you do bit your head and nick it, it leaves a scar. That's why it only goes short as a normal trimmer. I think I managed to kind of get away with without cutting myself anyway. So I haven't had blood running down my neck all day. So far, so good. But I'm not sure I'm going to do it on a regular basis. Where are we up to? Andrew saying that Bruce and Tom, the three of the Texans there. James Brace says, my mum, bless her, went to GW over the summer and got me various neck runs and paints. She said it was like going back in time 20 years to the last time she got in Warhammer. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's like I don't think any of my family have ever been to to a Games Workshop to buy stuff for me. Not for a long time, I think. Normally now they'll just buy something online from one of the discount stores or something like that. I don't really shop in the Warhammer shop unless I just want to pick up some paints, to be fair. Marcus says his hair grows about 2.5 inches a month. I should donate some to Andy. I'm more than happy, mate, with my bald head now. It took me a long time to get used to it. It was weird. It's one of those things I think as a bloke, and especially when you're not kind of in your 60s or something, you kind of feel a little bit weird about it. But the day I shaved it off, that was it. I've never gone back. And the reason I shaved it off was I'd been on holiday with my kids. And I knew it was kind of getting a bit fine and stuff, but I'd been on holiday with my kids, and there was a photograph that we got took of us, and the flash off the camera basically kind of illuminated my head through the thinning hair, and this what would have been a lovely photograph was absolutely ruined by what looked like I had this weird kind of halo type effect on my head. So I was going on holiday again a while later. I was going to Miami, and then I went to Las Vegas and then Miami. And I decided to shave my head before I went because I thought I don't want to get those same kind of photographs on holiday. And I also, I don't want to come back, see them photographs and then shave my head, but with a tan. So I shaved it before I went, and then I've never looked back. And that must be, God, that must be about 8 years ago now or something, I think. Where are we up to? Scott's saying Pandora, the Dreamer, and the new Nikima. Yeah, there's some nice ones, mate, isn't there? Mark says, do we finally have 5 Texans in at once? I would say have we got all of the Texans, but I'm pretty sure there's more than 5 of you live over there. Where are we up to? Yeah. Tissy Brindrin says, I'm from South Louisiana. It doesn't take me much to get talking about food. That's why you lot are a wonderful lot to get, like lots of recipe inspiration. Krabby saying, evening all, Merry Christmas, etc. to everyone. Good evening, mate, and Merry Christmas to you, fella. Blizzard saying he's planning a new Nikima crew when it drops. Yes, it might potentially be in a box on its way to me very, very soon. Peter says, I've got a million things I don't need any else. No, that's heresy. I can't even believe the words came out my mouth, mate. Merry Christmas to Flying Mammal. Good evening, Ruth. I hope you and Sean are very well. Merry Christmas to the both of you. Jeff saying, good evening to Krabby there. Andrew saying, shaving the mohawk is the joke. I've got the same balding pattern. There's nothing but the bit in the back. It's funny, but it's also straight punk. I think I'd get a reverse mohawk, which is like kind of like a monk. Texans from the Star. Nice one. Andrew saying the stars at night are big and bright. I'm sure that must be a Texan thing, is it? Scott says, I played Neverborn years ago. Just loved the lore and the miniatures are sweet. I played a little bit of Victorias, which were outcasts back in the day. I also played, what was she called again? Colette and the Showgirls. They were Arcanists. I played a bit of them, and I played a little bit of Seamus as well with the Resurrectionists. But I've got some, I've just finished my Lady J stuff, so if anybody hasn't seen them, the photographs was on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter and all that kind of lovely stuff. If you don't follow me on Instagram or Twitter, please do follow me. That'd be very nice. Another way to chat to you all. It's at BlackJack Legacy on pretty much any social media. You'll find me. And I also have some of the Explorers stuff winging its way across the sea from Weird Miniatures. Brian saying, later all from North Carolina. Take care, Brian. Nice to see you in, my friend. Lobin saying, I'm thinking of growing my hair out again. I had hair down to my lower back before I got cut. Now it's grown again. I kind of like it. Yeah, give me a choice. If I could have it, I'd have it, but I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Tony says, my mother is the champion of completely South Park out there presents, regardless of your wish list. My granny, many years ago, she's passed on now, God bless her soul, she used to buy the most random of gifts. I remember one Christmas I got like a Domino's set, but it was like, it must have like a kid's one. It was so small I couldn't physically kind of like hold it in my hand. You know when you play dominoes and you kind of like hold them in your hands. They were like about this big. You couldn't like hold them, or like it was an absolute nightmare. And then one year I also got an inflatable Spitfire, like an inflatable Spitfire airplane. I have no idea whether she thought she'd bought something else or what it was, but yeah, those were just a couple of the presents that I got from my granny. Steve says he's got the same hairstyle, mate. What can I say, mate? We're all men of taste. That's what it is. James says, all I want for Christmas is a picture of Andy with hair in the Discord. I can get you a picture of me with hair, mate. I have to try and see if I can find the ones of when I bleached my hair like white. I had like white spiked hair, like kind of like if you remember Jacques Villeneuve, the racing driver, the Formula 1 driver. I kind of had like white spiked hair like that. But yeah, I had a good mop of hair back in the day. I'll see if I can dig out some pictures for you, mate. Jonathan Wyborn, good evening. Have a great Christmas to you too, Jonathan. Warwick Dark Edge as well, former Texan in as well. He says, Texas never leaves you. Peter said, the funny thing is that our Texan friends could all be further separated than us Brits. Yeah, do you know, you probably could be. You could be further apart than I am from some of the European guys that are in. Andrew says, yes, it's a Texan thing. Disappointed nobody clapped. I will remember for next time, mate, to clap. Glenn says, isn't the Warhammer Cafe in Texas? I'm pretty sure it is, mate, yeah. Tony says, last year I got some lovely lavender perfume and some lace dollies. Yeah, you might win, mate. You might win for the random ones. Busey saying, don't forget to look out the window for the 2 planets colliding tonight. I don't keep up on that kind of stuff, mate. I'm actively avoiding the news and stuff at the minute, so unless somebody physically tells me about it, I probably don't even know about it. Bliss says, I'm first and foremost a Gremlins player. The Gremlins, when I first started playing Malifaux, were very kind of like, they weren't their own faction like they are now. I think they were part of, were they part of the Neverborn faction? They might have been. It's like the inhabitants of Malifaux, I think. And there was only like a few separate models and stuff, but they've grown quite some way over time now to have their own faction. So yeah, the Gremlins of the Bayou now, there's some awesome models for that. Steve said, I used to run Marcus and his crew, had a few others, have saved one model. It's the only mini my lovely lady's ever painted. Very nice, mate. Yeah, I mean, a little while ago, I've got some stuff on my desk here, actually. I picked up the Malifaux book, so just before my birthday, I think it was back end of October, I picked up the Malifaux book, I picked up the Lady Justice crew, and I picked up the Pandora, like the Halloween special edition crew. And the idea wasn't really to do any stuff on the channel. I was just picking them up purely for me, just as little private kind of passion projects, just to do in the background. But I really enjoyed getting back into the lore of Malifaux and stuff. Obviously, I talked about it in the lore video I did not so long ago as well, and I've been painting up my Lady Justice stuff on the Wednesday hobby hangouts. And then I'd actually spoken to Weird Miniatures back in April, I think it was, because I'd had a meeting set up with them at at Adepticon, but obviously that got cancelled, so I never got to see them. And we had a phone call conversation and talked about a few ideas of something we could do together, and it kind of never went anywhere. It just died a death, and I tried following it up, but it never went anywhere really, so I just kind of left it. And then completely out of the blue, Nathan Caroland, who owns Weird Miniatures, just sent me an email and said that myself and some of the like the design team are big fans of your channel and be interested to know if we could send you something. So that was kind of completely out of the blue. So yeah, so there's a package winging its way from Weird Miniatures headquarters, and it should be with me. Like I say, it's I got the notification, so it should be with me on Christmas Eve. So I kind of I picked the Malifaux up to get back into it myself for my own stuff. I've spent my own money on it, but they're sending some stuff in the post. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I've actually bought myself some resin bases as well to base them on. So this is the biggest one. This is a 50mm base. Let's see if I can get that into there and try and focus it. These are resin bases from Micro Art Studio, which are kind of like sort of broken wood and forest bases and stuff. Let's see if I can get this focus on, not my face. So yeah, so I got a bag of those as well, which I bought from a little shop on eBay. I can't remember what the shop was called, but yeah. So I'm going to try and put them on some nice resin bases, make a bit more of an effort with them, I think. Scott's saying that he had Marcus, Rasputina, and Lilith. Nice one, mate. Let's jump back in somewhere here. Peter Cummins says inflatable Spitfire would go well with Warlord Games' inflatable 17 PDR shell. It was weird, mate. It wasn't very big either. It was only about like this big. It wasn't like it was a huge inflatable thing. I remember getting it and thinking like not wanting to be impolite, but like, the hell do I do with this? Steve said, I used to play it back in first edition and loved it, but the shambles of second edition released killed enthusiasm. That was what burned me out as well, mate. I remember when it moved to second edition, not all of the models had rules when second edition first kicked off, and that was the point where I was just like, oh, I'm going to play something else. And I went to play War Machine at that point, but I'd played literally from probably 2 or 3 weeks from the game launching. I'd played all the way through first edition and 1.5. Lord Maiden says, my great aunt was the same. Me and my dad and uncles always had weird presents. The best one for me was a Chaos Biker. The worst one was my dad got pink fluffy washing up clothes. And VJ says, yes, white spiked hair, need to see this. I'm not sure if I've got any of those pictures, mate. Like, I'll have been about 18, I think, at the time, because I got it done when I was going on holiday with my mates. We were going to like Tenerife to play the Las Americas on our holidays, on a lad's holiday. And yeah, I got my hair done especially. Pusey says, one of my favourite gifts is a Lynx Africa gift box set. That reminds me, a mate of mine years ago when we were younger, probably mid-20s, his grandmother bought him like a Lynx set for Christmas. And he was like, oh, thanks very much kind of thing. And he went, it just got kind of chucked on the side. And then he was having a tidy up and he literally just kind of like put it into a bin liner and kind of threw it away and stuff. And he said about like 6 months later, his granny had said to him, "Oh, did you like your present?" And he went, "Oh yeah, it was lovely, thanks." And she went, "I don't know if you'll use the deodorant and that, like, but the few £100 that I put inside the box should come in handy." And he was like, "No, I didn't even open it. I've just binned it." She'd put like £200 in the back of this Lynx Africa box, and he just binned it. Just goes to show you shouldn't be ungrateful when people buy you gifts. Tasty Brain Drain says Warhammer Cafe. I definitely need to check that out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in Texas, mate. They opened like a smaller version, if you like, of Warhammer World, and I'm sure it's in Texas. Dave saying Boris Johnson cancelled my Death Card Codex. Scott saying 10 Thunders. The 10 Thunder ones weren't around as well in first edition, I seem to remember. They might have come towards the end. But yeah, the Explorer Society, which is the brand new one, I've been looking over that kind of stuff, and that's kind of got me, got my juices flowing, if you like. Kieran saying the Discord Google to be full of pics of Andy with many a photoshopped hairdo. Yeah, I'm sure it will be now, mate. Yeah, I'll have to try and dig some pictures out. I've certainly got like some of when me and my wife first got together when I had hair then as well. But yeah, the older ones that might take some digging out, I think. Bruce says a nice Christmas find would be a Games Workshop Legends of the Old West rules. Still looking. I'll keep my eye out, mate, if I see one this side of the pond for you. Lord Maiden says I went from McMornan to Hamlin to Lucius. Now I have Guild, Neverborn, Outcast, and Arcanist. It's one of the things I like about Malifaux is the fact that you can just pick up like a box set and have a game with it, or you pick up like because some models will work between factions, you can kind of pick up the odd bits and pieces, and you can just pick up the ones you like the look of. I mean, you only really run probably about 7 or 8 models in a crew, maybe slightly more for certain factions, but yeah, like you don't need a lot of models to play the game. Peter says I've been collecting 28mm Cowboys figures ever since. Nice one. Or even for that rule set we've just been talking about. Red Rose Wargaming, good evening, Anna. How the devil are you? I hope you're winding down for Christmas as well, not working too hard. People chatting, people saying hello. Steve says Marcus in Malifaux. Marcus was a beast master. He used to have lots of awesome beasts that fought alongside him. He did. That was his stick, wasn't it? VG says Micro Art Studio bases are nice. I just wish they sold the STLs too, so I could print my own. To be honest, mate, I started looking for bases when I was looking for STLs, and I started having a look. So I thought, you know what it is? If I can find some nice bases, I think I'm going to take the plunge and get that 3D printer. But then when I saw the price of these, I think that bag there, which has got I think I've got about 15 of the 30mm bases and one 50mm base. I think cost me like 10 or 12 quid shipped, and it was like, yeah, it's gonna take me a lot of bases before I start to sort of pay that printer back. I'm still interested in getting it, but I don't need it straight away, I think. Anna, since she's got a week off, looking forward to seeing the paintbrush. I bet you are, dear. I bet you are. Enjoy the break. Steve saying I'm kind of addicted to using resin bases these days. Really raises your stuff to the next level. I used to use resin bases a lot when I was like more into painting. But I've just got into a rut really of doing things quick and just putting sand on the base and dry brushing them, maybe a little bit of kind of flock or something like that. But I thought for this Malifaux stuff, I thought they deserved some nice bases. And I've been working on my Drowned Earth stuff as well, and making some kind of like nice cork, like rock bases and stuff for those ones. So yeah, I'm trying to raise my basing game a little bit. How do folks fancy? Why don't we have a bit of a basing challenge? So you can paint whatever you want. It can be one model, it can be a squad of 10 models, it can be anything you want. But the idea is to try and kind of raise your basing game. How do people fancy that if we kick it off in the next day or so, and we'll do that as a bit of a challenge, and let's revisit it like in January or something like that and see where people are up to. How do you think about that as an idea? We haven't done a challenge in a while. I've been a bit lax on that. Warwick saying, yeah, the Warhammer Cafe's in Garland in Texas. Got a friend that worked there for a while when it opened. She ended up being a barista for longer than she wanted. I tell you what, there's a lot of people sort of love being baristas. Dave says karate aftershave. I remember karate aftershave as well, mate. VG saying that's gold. You must be talking about the throwing the money away, I think, was it? Marcus says I figured out what my next Warcry customization will be. I'm going to use a Black Knight and the Vampire Lord Terrorgeist to make a Blood Knight. It sounds like a nice little kit bash, mate. Adam says, I've still got plenty of pics of when I had hair. Yours wasn't that long ago though, mate. Mine was going back some time. I think back then as well, like, I'm not really a big fan of having my photo taken, really. You wouldn't think for somebody that sits and does this for a living now, but I'm not overly keen about having my face on a camera, like having my picture taken. So there's not a lot of pictures of me, actually. It's not like I was kind of like sort of hugging the limelight all the time or anything. So it takes some digging out to find some pictures of me. Obviously, camera phones and stuff weren't really kind of like, not everybody had them, or you certainly didn't save them like you do now anyway. VG says, moral of the story, never look a Link's gift box in the mouth. Yeah, exactly. Or maybe you should always look it in the mouth, maybe. Right in there. Scott says, I love the Carver and the Teddy miniatures. One thing I will say about Malifaux miniatures is they've changed a lot between different editions. So like the Teddy minis changed quite a bit as well, but there's some really nice like different sculpts and things. Lord Maiden says, I know what you mean with second edition. The first change in books had about half the models with the rest in beta, but it had a lot of upgraded cards at the end. Yeah, it kind of it grew lots and pieces. It's one of the things I quite like about third edition is they've still got upgrades, but they've really pulled it back now, so you don't really have that. And obviously in third edition now as well, all of the models are catered for that need to be catered for, if you like. Yeah, Lord Maiden said it was bloated with conditions and choice. It did kind of grow arms and legs a bit. Scott says, I've got tons of resin-based files. You'll have to kind of send me some pictures, mate, to see the kind of things that you've got, because I don't even know, like if I bought a printer, I don't even know what kind of files I'm looking for, to be fair. I don't know whether they're for plastic or for resin printers and stuff. So you'll have to send me some pictures just so I know the kind of things. Blizzard says, any chance of getting a Malifaux channel on the Discord? 100%, mate. I'll do it as soon as we're finished tonight. I'll pop one in there. Fly Mammal saying, yeah, nice basing challenge. I think it just kind of keeps it open for folks, doesn't it? It's not about how good a painter you are. It doesn't matter what game you play. It doesn't matter what model you're painting. Even if you want to just do a one-off, or you want to do like a bit of a diorama or something like that, just about trying to do something a little bit different. So yeah, I think we will do that in there, Ruth. Christian says, if you want 3D printed bases, give me a shout. I've got a lot for my various purchases. I wouldn't mind kind of seeing some images of bits and pieces so I know what's out there, or even just like some links to different places that you've purchased them from, so I can kind of see the options, because I must admit it's a little bit overwhelming when you first start looking, and like I say, I don't really know which files are suitable for the right kind of printers and stuff. But yeah, like printing bits of scatter terrain, and like printing like sort of busts and like that kind of things. I think that's where I'm going to end up with the resin printer, and I'm right on the line of, do I just get a cheap one? I still keep humming and hawing. Do I just get like a cheap one, like a Mars or a Mars Pro, or do I go the full hog and get the 2K mono ones and stuff? Because I've seen a few of those. I think I'm going to wait till after Christmas when it kind of dies down a little bit. Although that might not be the best thing with Brexit and everything else coming in. Marcus is saying he's down for the basing challenge. Scott's saying, yeah, let's do it. Marcus is in for it. Krabby's in for it. Ben's in for it as well. Tony says he's in. Adam says he's been putting a bit of effort in. Even better, mate. That means you can enter something you've already done if you want to, mate. Christian's in for it as well. Peter says, so is it a fancy base but no figure? No, you can still put a figure on it, mate. It's just that it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what figure it is. It doesn't matter what game it's for. It can just be something you want to paint as a one-off. You don't have to play any particular games or anything. It's just about trying to like put a little bit of effort into the base itself. James says, I've accepted that I'm now 99.9% painting and 0.1% playing, so now I'm taking my time and making every model an art piece. Basins where it's at. It's kind of why I've bought these, mate, for my Malifaux stuff. I'm figuring like, how many games am I realistically going to get in like in the next however long? So I'm going to just kind of enjoy the painting, and I'm going to have to try and kind of reframe the channel a little bit to work around all the things I can do on my own and get help with stuff from my wife where I can. But I kind of have to accept it in the same way that if somebody's got a business that has to close, they've got to try and change what they do to make money. Because I can't play the games that I plan to, and I can't go and visit the companies I plan to, I'm going to have to kind of replan for 2021 and plan against what I can do on my own. And it's kicked me a little bit the back end of this year, because I think when we first got into this stuff, I kept thinking things will get better, things will change and stuff. And I think gradually it's dawned on me the end is not quite in sight yet. So I just need to do a bit of a restructure. But yeah, I agree with you, mate. Take your time with the painting. If you're enjoying painting, There's no need to rush it, is there? Peter Stockdale, good evening to you, mate. Mark saying, yeah, we could call the challenge Ace of Base. Oh, there you go, mate. We've even got a name for it now. I tell you what I might do as well. What I'll probably do is we'll give away a prize, I think, for this one, because we haven't done it in a while. But what I'll do is we'll just draw somebody at random. Somebody that completes the challenge, we'll just draw their name out at random, and I haven't got a clue what it's going to be. It might be a paintbrush or something, or it might be a voucher or something like that. If I can get some of the companies to give me a voucher, or I can get a miniature or something to give away. But we'll have a little prize for this one, I think, just to kind of kick off the challenges, ready for 2021 again. Where are we up to here? Low saying, I can show off some bases, but in the middle of a warband and want to do the other warband before I do the bases. Yeah, we'll make sure there's plenty of time, mate, so everybody gets time to do it. Christian saying, most bases are suitable for both resin and filament printing, but will always look better in resin. I didn't realise that, mate. I assumed there were different files. Blizzard's in as well. VJ saying he's put a gobbo or a skeleton on an 80mm base. Why not, mate? Get an 80mm base and make it a little diorama if you want to. Marco says, hello everyone. Good evening, Marco. Says, sorry if I joined late. Great Christmas jumper. I'm painting an Invicta warsuit right now. Nice one, mate. You're prolific, mate, with your painting at the moment. It's looking awesome. Dovey Mikowski says, I've heard 3D printing is a hobby in itself. Yeah, I guess it can be if you want it to be. I think there's nothing wrong with that, really. I quite like the idea of it, to be fair. VJ says, I hate basing, so I'll sit this one out. I've seen your basing, mate. There's nothing wrong with the bases on your models. Kieran saying, given £20 voucher for Waylands, what to get? Or do I wait and see what the Inquisitor teases on the Warhammer community page? I've seen the bit at the tease thing. It wouldn't surprise me if it's like an expansion for something. Maybe it's the new Kill Team set. Who knows? Maybe Kill Team's going like Inquisitor. I would just, if I got a 20 quid voucher, I'd probably just buy some like bits of tools and stuff. I think bits and pieces. Peter saying, enjoy the painting, don't rush it. There's still 2,000 of the buggers to do. You know, exactly. Vijay saying, pretty easy to do simple print run. Just follow the videos for your printer. Buy pre-supported models. Yeah, it's a lot of kind of for me at the minute. I don't know enough, so it's a bit overwhelming about what the hell would I even start with, kind of thing. I'll get to it at some point, though, I think. Scott says a free face mask as a prize. Bruce says, I've got some last-minute shopping to do, so I have to bail early. Merry Christmas to all of you in the chat. A special one to the Texans. Thank you very much, Bruce. Nice to see you, fella. Tony saying, I happily make mine blank and gift it to them, whoever they can use it. That's very kind of you, Tony. We Roll Dice, good evening. Says, Merry Christmas, lad. All the best to you in the new year. And to you, too. Thank you very much. Christian says, any file with a .stl will be suitable. The slicer software will convert it to a readable file for the printer. I never knew that, mate. I just assumed there were different files. I knew they were called STL files, but I thought they were just... I might have even thought STL was like a name as opposed, like, not a .stl file. Maybe I thought it was something else. That's good to know, mate. Good to know. James says, which company makes a good range of skeletons? Not the AOS Bone Reaper madness. Just some skellies with weapons. You've probably got a couple of choices, mate. The Mantic skeletons are pretty good. They're not too bad. And also the ones that are for... Is it the... Not... I could be wrong here. Is it the Oathmark skeletons, I think somebody's told me about? I think they're pretty good too. Scott Longworth saying the bases he's got are all pre-supported. Duffy saying it wasn't saying it as a negative. No, I don't. Sorry, I didn't take it that way, mate. I think it's optional. I think you can go headlong into it and make it a hobby, or I think you can kind of just accept it that it's a tool really, and that I'm not going to get too hung up. I'm just going to buy pre-supported stuff. I'll get my settings set up and stuff, and then I'm just using it like a tool type thing. I think it depends what you want to do with it. Josh Swan says, hope you are having a good Christmas season, even you Southern lot. Yes, even you Southerners, have a good Christmas. Thank you, Josh. Marcus says, don't forget to drop BlackJack Legacy a like. A like is always appreciated. Likes help me to get this shared out to other people, so thank you very much. James Brain says that's what he's after. Half for skeleton-based diorama and for basic materials. Josh says, don't War Games Atlantic do skeletons? There's some... Yeah, Peter's just said the same thing. There's somebody does skeletons. that are a nightmare to build. Like even the feet are separate from the legs and stuff like that. I think they're a bit of a nightmare, but I can't remember who makes those ones. Yoakum, good evening, mate. This is vacation mode. Almost missed the Christmas party. Hope everyone is well. It's not the same. It wouldn't be the same without you, Yoakum. Thank you very much. Scott's saying about Oathmark ones or the Warlords of Erewhon. The Warlord ones are fiddly. That must be the ones I'm thinking of, mate. Yeah. Tony says just scratch build his. I don't own a 3D printer. Get ready for a completely customized base. No, that's kind of what I mean. I mean, if people want to print them, if people want to buy them and decorate them, but yeah, scratch build them. Use little bits of sticks, bits of sticks out the garden, anything like that. You know what I mean? Just see what you can make. Marco says T4 restrictions are going to boost his patent productivity over the holidays. Yes, I'm certainly having a bit of time at home will help that, mate. Derek says War Games Atlantic skeletons for the Harryhausen look. Yeah, they do have that kind of older style look, don't they? Chris is saying Elder Scrolls skeletons, perhaps. Yeah, I think it might be the Warlord ones. Somebody was just saying, you get loads in the box. I mean, they're good value for money, but I think they're fiddly as hell to put together. Like, they're in so many different parts that actually, for what they are, it's a little bit overkill. Everyone's saying about the Oathmark ones as well. Peter Cooman saying the nightmare to build skeletons are Warlords. Yes, that must be those ones, mate. Used to be War Games Factory. Ah, that's the one. Didn't he buy War Games Factory, I think? Marcus is saying Warlord makes some nice ones, but they're the ones people hate to build. James Brace says scratch build base, activate Womble mode. That's the bit I like, mate, just kind of cobbling bits and pieces together. I'm not so keen doing it like if it's like a big army, like a 40k army or something like that. But for something like a Malifaux warband or a Wild West Exodus warband, or something where you're doing like 5 to 10 models max or something like that. It's nice to do something a little bit different. And Derek's saying, yeah, the Warlord games for the Nightmare Skellies, that's the ones. He says that Marcus says they're the best ones for posing. I think it depends how many you want to do, mate. If you're buying them by the box full like that to do like a full army, I don't think I could be like hacked on to be trying to like pose them all like that. I'm a big fan of the Mantic skeletons. I think for what they cost and for how they look, they're a bit more realistic skeleton looking as opposed to kind of comedy skeletons like the old GW ones and stuff. I just think they're really, like, for the money, I think they're good. Adam's saying he'll have to put his thinking cap on for the challenge. I'll formulate something and get get some little rules and some deadlines put out into the groups and stuff. But yeah, it's we'll keep it pretty simple. Don't worry about it, folks. It's not about how good you are. It's just about setting a bit of a challenge, maybe doing something you wouldn't normally do. Peter saying the plastic scenic bases for 40k by GW are actually pretty cool bases. Yeah, they're not too bad actually, mate. And actually price-wise, they're not horrendous either, really. I've got some of the ones from the Necromunda set, which I think are the Sector Imperialis bases, and I think I used those for my kill team bases. Jay says, you've seen me doing my dioramas. I'm bored of just doing skulls. Need the odd femur in there. Yeah, if you want them for kind of basic materials, actually, the Warlord ones might not be bad because they come in so many parts. It might be easier than kind of cutting them up, to be fair. Adam is saying, obviously, it'll be nurgly. I'd expect nothing less from you, mate. And Tony's saying he's trying to get past his Cavalier approach to life after 8 before 7. I saw that tonight, mate. And Christian saying, yeah, the base he showed in the Discord was the Warlord skeletons. Right, excuse me while I have a drink, folks. Oh. Yeah, and James saying he's a rebel there. He did say it in our Discord tonight, and it's something about he was on the after 8 and it wasn't even 7 o'clock yet. Proper gangster. That's what it was, mate, wasn't it? So, folks, what's your plans then? What are your have any of you got any games planned on Christmas Day? Do you have a family games day or anything like that? Are you having sort of are you expecting to get any new board games or anything for Christmas that you're looking to break out? Is anybody sort of in the places where you can go and visit game stores and stuff? Have you got any Christmas gaming lined up? Let me know what your plans are over the Christmas. Myself, I don't have any gaming planned, to be fair. We got like a bit of a Christmas Day meal with my brother and sister-in-law. Potentially might sneak a game in if we have time, but other than that, we actually last night we did like an online like escape room thing over like a Zoom call. So me and my wife, her sister and her husband, and we did like an online escape room thing, which was actually pretty cool. It's quite hard to do it across Zoom though, because we're both having to do like different parts of it and stuff. But it was fun. It was something nice to do, something a bit of a change. So that's the closest I've been to gaming recently, to be fair. Mike G says, here a little late, but I made it. Nice one, Mike G. Scott said the disliker was in tonight. It wouldn't be a live stream, mate, if we didn't have our disliker in. Welcome, disliker, if you're in watching as well. Thank you very much for coming back every single week. I appreciate it. Joachim says, do we have a Christmas challenge? I only have 4 warbands left to paint before the vacation's over. I think we're just going to do a challenge around basing, mate. So I don't know whether you missed it, but I think I'm going to kick something off tomorrow. We'll get like the dates and stuff set up. But I think we're just going to do a bit of a basing challenge. So just base a miniature. Try and put a bit more effort in than you normally would. Like me, I've getting into a rut of just gluing sand to the base and dry brushing it. I'm going to try and do something a little bit special. So that's what it's going to be, mate. Duffy says, do we drink when you drink? I tell you what, mate, you'll go thirsty. I always forget to drink. I've sat on live streams with a bottle of water or something and hardly touched it. Mike G says, what's an after 8? I assume again that these are universal, but they are a really thin kind of like mint, like a mint fondant type thing covered in dark chocolate, and they come in like little thin kind of like little packets in a box, and you meant to eat them as an after dinner kind of like mint, like an after dinner like a mouth freshener type thing. But they call it after 8s randomly, so it's that kind of like rebel thing. I had an after 8 and it was only 7 o'clock. Peter says I plan to play through Star Saga next week, probably solo, but might press gang the kids. My wife did very kindly say to me yesterday, what stuff do you want to do for the channel that I can help with? So I'm potentially going to maybe try and do like an intro to Malifaux with her, maybe. We'll maybe just get another not Dreadfleet. There's a slip of the tongue. We might get another Armada battle report done. There was a few technical issues with the last one. There were some audio issues, which is why you never saw it. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. James is saying he's hoping that his Dune Imperium comes tomorrow for a Christmas game with a wife and sister-in-law, who's in the bubble, of course. Josh is saying no gaming, but a whole ton of painting when he's free. Mainly just eating. Eating sounds good to me as well, mate. Adam's saying hoping to start a crusade campaign with a group of local blokes. Nice one, mate. So you're going to be getting the Nurgle guys in there. Scott said he's hoping to get the other champions for God tier. Nice one, mate. I at some point I do have to crack on and get them painted. Adam said he's had some practice games. Christian says no, we only drink when Andy says right where we at, or it jumped off the top of my screen. If you do that, mate, you'll definitely be drunk. That's a different thing. Simon Morton says Mandalorian Monopoly with the missus and God tier with the boy. I haven't seen there's a Mandalorian Monopoly, mate. I won't spoil the Mandalorian stuff, but for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, the second season has just finished. So if you subscribe to Disney Plus for a month and you've got the time on your hands, you could binge watch all of season 1 and season 2 for one monthly fee. And it is definitely worth a watch. If you're a Star Wars fan, I 100% recommend it. Where are we up to now? There you go. Just jumped off my screen there, Christian. Simon, John saying he might have a game of 40k soon. He's got his son, the Recruit Edition starter. Might need to simplify it, but it should be fun. Do you know what it is, mate? That's the best way to do it. Just strip out the bits that like just complicated. Because at the end of the day, all you really want to do is push models around and roll dice and have a bit of fun together, don't you? Essentially, that's all we want to do now as adults as well. We just like to complicate things. Peter saying, yeah, mint chocolate is an after 8, I believe. It is, mate, yeah. James says an after 8 is a classic British after dinner mint chocolate, yes. Busey saying, yeah, plan on playing the exit game, The Abandoned Cabin. I've not played that one, mate. I'll keep meaning to pick up some more exit games for over Christmas for me and my wife. ASDF says I plan to play Exit Pharaoh's Tomb with his son and sister. Hopefully my son I can finish the last mission for the base game of Blackstone Fortress as well. The Pharaoh's Tomb one, mate, is tough. Me and my wife did that recently. It's pretty tough, that one. But it's good, but it's pretty tough. Don't be shy to use the hints and tips, mate. We definitely needed some of them. Scott said we should do a Christmas-themed conversion. I've thought about making it like a winter base, mate, or something like that. But then I don't want to limit people into like making stuff that they don't really want for a particular faction. I might open it up so you can do a basin, like sort of it's a basin challenge. But if you feel like you want to do it as a winter basin challenge. Marcus says, I might see if I can get my sister and parents want to try and play a new Disney scenic game and hope it does not get vicious. The scenic. Oh, I know what you mean by the scenic game. It's like the little video clips things, isn't it? Robert Zung says, as far as I know right now, we have a couple of family members and their kids coming for a few days. Very nice, mate. Very nice. Yeah. Tony saying about the mints, it was a very 70s thing. For me, they're in the same kind of area as Ferrero Rochers, that kind of almost very 70s dinner party thing. Mark says, only since I know they won't want to try Warcry or X-Wing. X-Wing's a good one, though. I do like X-Wing First Edition. Lee Burns, good evening, mate. Says he's getting a new Underworlds for Christmas. He's managed to persuade his girlfriend to play the odd game in lockdown. She's getting Wingspan, so we'll play that too. I've never played Wingspan, mate. Obviously, everybody loves the game, but I'm not really into birds, to be fair, and that's kind of put me off. But yeah, getting a little bit. If you play my game, I'll play your game. That works well. Lord Maiden says, if you're an American, think a thin peppermint patty. It's something I remember from being in like Disney and stuff. They sell these kind of relatively thin kind of like peppermint patty type things in all of the Disney stores. I forget what they're called now, but I used to love those. Simon's saying a wafer thin mint reminds me of the sketch. I know what you mean, mate. It's all coming back now as well. Right, where are we up to? They are have another drink there. Where are we up to here? Peter Cooman said, Dreadfleet, someone clip that. You heard me, mate. Jacob saying Merry Christmas as well. Merry Christmas to you, mate. Scott saying he's planning on giving the Raven Feast rules a try from Little Wars TV. Were those the Viking ones that you were just talking about today, mate? Were they? Was that those fellas? Simon Edge. that is a hell of a sketch there. That says Jason donated through the super chat. Thank you very much, mate. It's Merry Christmas to you and the farm. Thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate that. Where are we up to? VG saying, all right, I was wondering what happened to the second Armada bat rep. Yeah, there was some audio issues, mate. I think one of the connections in one of the microphones was a bit loose, and it kept getting a horrible buzz on it every now and again, and there was just no way to get rid of it. So unfortunately, it was scrapped. Yoakum says, hope I can play a Warcry campaign with his sons and his brother. Going to throw in some challenge battles so we can play all four at the same time. Yes, that sounds pretty cool, mate. That sounds a good one. Mark was saying, this week I won a Nightmare Whiskey Golem on a charity raffle. I heard great things of Weird Miniatures, so looking forward to it. A Nightmare Whiskey Golem. I've not heard of the whiskey ones. So basically what they do is every year, the guys at Weird Miniatures do a Nightmare variant of one of the different factions, and they're kind of like, I think like the ones I remember was like they did like a Lady Justice box where Lady Justice's head had been like cut off and she was like holding it in her hand and stuff. So they do a couple each year. They do a Nightmare variant. They've also done one recently which was like a 1986 version, so it looked a bit like Streets of Rage type thing as well. They do some really good like kind of like limited edition stuffs. Yeah, nice. They're nice miniatures, mate. Mark was saying Mando's amazing. Yep. Lord Maiden saying he's off until the 29th of December. Plan is to glue some minis and paint some more. So more of the same then, mate, eh? Tasty Brain Drain saying no Christmas gaming, just Christmas cooking and Christmas eating and watching the Saints play. I tell you what, mate, after the Rams performance at the weekend, I'm not talking NFL. How on earth did we lose to the Jets? That is just not. That's not even fun. James is saying he's off until the 4th. I say off. The 2-year-old and the infant still want attention. I've not really kind of thought about taking specific time off. I'm going to kind of obviously continue doing bits and pieces, like I say, because it's like it's my business and it's my hobby type thing. It's a bit of a weird mix of stuff. But I'm still going to be streaming on Wednesday. Obviously, I'll have Christmas Day off and stuff. But I'll probably I'm still planning to do next Monday's live stream, which I don't know what date that's on actually. What's the date next Monday? So that'll be on the 28th. So I'll do the 28th. I'll do the Wednesday on the 30th as well. So we'll still be doing that, and I'll still be trying to do some other video work as well. So yeah, for me, I'm not really kind of taking a break over the Christmas. Mike G said, I thought it was hard liquor drink that you were supposed to wait on, so you don't get two-faced too early. Nice one. Adam said he loves Mando as well, would happily adopt Grogu. Definitely, mate. Ulverbright, nice to see you in as well, mate. Says, recently picked up Conquest Mass Battle Strategy War Game by Parabellum. Curious if you have it on your radar and any thoughts about it. I actually haven't, mate. They sent me over a starter set for it. And I've built up all the minis from the starter set. I've read through the rules. At some point, I'll probably do a review of it. But the problem was I wasn't overly taken by the miniatures, if I'm perfectly honest. Some of them are quite nice. I quite like the knights, the mounted stuff. But the scale creep compared to every other game made it a little bit like it doesn't fit with any other game from the scale size. And I wasn't overly kind of amazed with the rules and stuff. I think I prefer Kings of War in the idea of you've got your sort of fixed base unit, and once they've taken the damage, you take them off. I don't think I'm as keen as taking individual models off and taking them away, as they kind of take wounds, if you like. It is on my radar. I have got it. I've seen that they've just released a skirmish rules version as well, so you can use individual models. I'll get to it at some point, but the problem is trying to play games is just impossible at the minute. Tasty Brain Drain says, hopefully his board game group will be getting together a few days after Christmas to finish his game of Hunters AD 2114. I've not heard of that, mate. Adam thought it was a booze reference as well. Peter says he played X-Wing with a boy last week. Yeah, I used to love playing X-Wing with my lads. Tony says, I remember when Arctic Roll was afters for a big thing in the 70s, but when Viennetta came along, it stole its crown. Viennetta is such a weird dessert, isn't it? It's just kind of like, it's just fancy ice cream, let's be honest. Scott's saying, mate, the Viking stuff, mate, yes. Andy Smith says, hey kids, what have I missed? We're just having a bit of a Christmas ramble, mate. I'm having a drink. We're having a bit of a natter. Feel free, pull up a chair, join in. Tony says he's going to give Dungeon Saga a solo bash. Do you know what it is, mate? I've got Dungeon Saga, but I don't have the solo expansion for it. So I've never actually played it solo. At some point, I should probably look into that. Andy's just ordered Aliens as well. We briefly chatted about that before. Christian says he's prepping D&D adventures over Christmas and 3D printing more toys. I bet your 3D printer never stops, mate, does it? Adam says he's been looking at the Malifaux minis recently too. There's some amazing sculpts. Won't be for a while though. Yeah, they've got some absolutely beautiful sculpts, mate. The company started as a company that just made miniatures. Basically, they sculpted really unusual, really nice miniatures. And after they got to a point where they had quite a big range of like random minis, they decided to write a rule set and try and somehow bring together all of these random miniatures that they created. And that's why the Malifaux kind of world and the universe is a bit of a strange one. I was going to say a weird, but yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. But yeah, I absolutely love the background and stuff, and the quality of the minis is fab. Lord Main's saying, when all you have to worry about is making sure the cats are fed, days off is normally all the same. Excuse me. Stuck in my throat there. Scott said he's working on New Year's Eve day for triple time. So February is a great month for some binge buying. Nice one, mate. Make the most of it. Overtime is something I haven't seen overtime for a long time, that's for sure. Mark's in for the challenge as well. Nice one. Adam's saying, speaking of football, how about them Chiefs? I tell you what, mate, they were lucky last weekend, that's for sure. Patrick Mahoney threw about 3 interceptions, I think, didn't he? Tasty Brain Drain says, I was shocked that they lost to the Jets as well. I couldn't believe it when I kind of watched the highlights this morning, getting beat 23-20 off a team that haven't won a game all season. My God. And there was us thinking that the Rams were on for the playoffs without anything to worry about. Barry saying, how about them Rams? How about them Bears? Playoff hope is still alive. Yeah, it's still alive, mate. But yeah, it was a loss that we did not need, mate. That's for sure. Busey says New Year's Eve special stream. I don't think so, mate. I think I'm going to be spending New Year's Eve with my wife. So I don't think I'll be doing a special live stream. But we'll do something kind of just beforehand. What day is New Year's Eve on? Let's have a look at that. Is that on the Friday? It's on the Thursday, isn't it? We might do something New Year's Day. Could maybe do a cheeky New Year's Day stream or something like that. Bit of chat there. Tony Senior watched his first episode of The Mandalorian yesterday. Not a big fan of Star Wars, but I really liked it. The robot bounty hunter scene was brilliant and really quite funny. What I would say, mate, is if you're not a huge fan of Star Wars, the first series has a few episodes that feel like it's kind of like padding it out a little bit. Like there's a couple of episodes, I think, anyway, where they were, it didn't really progress the story so much, if you like, but stick with it. Second season is fantastic. Every episode is amazing. It feels like they got into their stride and they knew what they were doing by the second season. Greg Cherry, hello mate, how are you? He says, yeah, 3D printers are a tool, but a tool that requires lots of maintenance, file setup, etc. I used mine for 3 months straight, and my mini painting and other hobby work suffered. I guess it depends what you're printing and how often you're printing. Because if you're just printing because you want to print stuff, and that's your hobby, then I guess everything else will suffer. My teacher's shouting cookies. Oh yeah, because Marcus is saying his cookies are ready to be back soon. Andy Smith sitting with his cider. Nice one, mate. Where are we up to here? Adam saying Viennetta. That's a fancy dessert for poor people in Australia. It's a fancy dessert for poor people in the UK as well, mate. But back in the kind of like 70s and 80s, it was seen as something particularly fancy. It's them weird little plastic trays that it comes in, mate. That's what freaks me out. Adam saying that most of the Chiefs games have been close this season. Yeah, it was proper close though, mate. I was watching the highlights. They did really well to not lose that game. Actually, did they only win like by 3 points or something? Was it a kick? I think it might have won on a kick. And he says, could you do a proper intro vid to Malifaux? I think I will, mate. Actually, it's probably because it's something I can do on my own. I can't play games on my own at the minute. So to do like an introduction, I was looking online as well to see if there was any good, like, because what I tend to do is if there's already a good like how to play video, I tend not to bother because I'm just repeating what somebody else has done a good job of. But actually, I would say there's probably not a good how to play a Malifaux video or how to get into Malifaux video. There are some, but personally, I don't think they're particularly great, or they're old ones. They're based on second edition or whatever. So yeah, I probably will, mate, to be fair. Greg saying Christmas is Blackstone Fortress and Marvel Champions. What do you think of Marvel Champions, mate? I've never played it. I've not even seen it played. Peter says, funny you prefer Kings of War. People who like skirmish games mostly like Kings of War. Something about the units just being one piece. It's basically a big scale skirmish. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is, mate. I was never a fan of Warhammer Fantasy, so I don't kind of like ache back to the days of taking individual models off. I like the idea of pushing around them big units. And Stacey Brain Drain says Hunters AD 2114 is a dungeon crawlish type game. One of these board game group picked up through Kickstarter. Started playing before lockdown. I've never heard of it, mate. I hope it's a good game, mate. I hope you're enjoying it. And he says, why not do a book game thing on New Year's Day? Oh, we could do, couldn't we? We could potentially do a fighting fantasy on New Year's Day or something, couldn't we? If people are up for that. Krabby says, are the Detroit Lions any good nowadays? I used to follow them and San Francisco 49ers when I was younger. I can't even remember what the Lions are doing now, mate. 49ers are still a decent team. Yeah, they're not doing too bad. They're our bogey team, to be fair. They always seem to beat the Rams. But yeah, it's yeah, I couldn't even tell you. I don't even know if the Lions have still got a team. They might have changed me. I can't remember now. Scott saying we need a Blackjack New Year's Eve party live stream. Yeah, I ain't doing a New Year's Eve one, mate, that's for sure. Greg saying he's finished the box campaign and halfway through Escalation. Nice one. Tony says the 70s dinner party, prawn cocktail starter, overcooked meat and veggies served from a hostess trolley with a cheese board full of red Leicester and cheddar cheese board and Irish coffee and after 8. Maybe even a little bit of fondue as well, mate, for if you were a bit more upmarket. Tony says 3D prints take a while, so lots of time to build and paint while you're waiting, babysitting them. I think what happens is, mate, I think people end up sitting watching them because they're fascinated by it. Like, so it's going to be like it's a 4-hour print. So I'm just gonna watch it and watch it build all the different lines. It's amazing. I think that's what happens when you first get one. Tony's saying cheese and pineapple on a stick. But cheese and pineapple on a stick, did you have them like with tin foil wrapped around like a potato or like half a melon or something like that? That's when you were proper posh, when you had tin foil wrapped around like around a potato or something, like full of cocktail sticks. Fondue, Adam says, yes. Jez Hunt, good evening, mate. How are you doing? He says, just pop my head in to wish you and everyone else a good Yule and Merry Christmas. Also, Viennetta on a stick. That's all we need. You're right, mate. And Tony saying there, definitely the cheese and pineapple hedgehog. You can't beat a cheese and pineapple hedgehog, mate, can you? Adam says his mum used to make cheese balls. That was her thing. Wow. I don't think I've ever had cheese balls, mate, actually. I do know people. You use it like a melon ball, don't you, to do them. Barry's saying the Lions are pretty awful. They're so bad, I can't even think what like division they're in. Peter says, yes, let's get robbed by cheeky dwarfs in a dank alley on New Year's Day. It might be a nice idea, but a bit of a wind down on New Year's Day if you've had a bit of a good night. And I assume nobody's really going anywhere on New Year's night. So yeah, let's tentatively tick a box. I'll check with the family and stuff and see what my wife's got planned. But yeah, let's do it. Peter says when American football started on Brit TV, used to support the Redskins. They're no longer the Redskins now, mate. You're not allowed to say that word. So they are now Washington. They haven't got a new name yet. Andy Smith says, just in case we do a story, I vote fight. Adam says, I feel like the Chiefs are saving their energy for the big game. I was kind of hoping that we were just kind of coming good at the right time, but I must admit that the Jets games took the legs under me a bit. Yeah, Andrew's saying, yeah, dude, Peter, you can't say words like that. Krabby says, I seem to remember them not being good when I followed them either. Not much has changed. No, they're terrible. Tony says, fighting fantasy on New Year's Day is good for me. How many folks, there was something Kirsten mentioned in the Facebook group, how many folks are kind of on their own over Christmas and New Year and stuff? How many of you have kind of like, obviously now not being able to see family and stuff, how many of you are stuck on your own? Because if there's a good number of you and stuff, we might try and do it a little bit more to kind of support everybody and give everybody something to kind of to look forward to, if you like. Not that you want to look forward to talking to me, but it's a way to bring everybody together, isn't it? That's what I mean. John is saying the hedgehog of cheese and pineapples. Yes. Lord Baden says, I have some Camp STL files if you want them. A fire with a hog over it ready to turn if you want to try 3D print. I'd need to buy a printer first, mate. That'll be the thing. But yeah, once I've bought it, mate, I'd be nice to have something just to try. Ted says, fondue, I'm more of a bag of scratchings and pickled egg. I do like a bag of pork scratchings, mine, I must admit. Marcus says, okay, first batch are good and the next in the oven. So Marcus, what time can I expect you round, mate, to do a door drop of my cookies? That would be very nice, thanks very much. Adam says, cheese balls are a massive ball made of cheese and other ingredients. Some are savoury, some are sweet. I've never heard of that, mate. I didn't realise that was a thing. Dovey says, good night all, he's off to the chiropractor. Take care, mate, hope you're well. Krabby saying, check with the boss. Yeah, I don't know whether she's got plans. She might have like set up like a family Zoom call or something like that, mate, that's all. Barry says, Lions are in the division with the Bears, Minnesota and Green Bay. That's probably why I don't even notice them half the time. I don't think we've played them in quite some time, that's for sure. Where are we up to here? Andrew said his college team was 3-5, and then someone threw a shoe last week, and we upset number 6 Florida. Then won the last one to go 5-5. Nice. How many games is in the college league, mate? Do you play the same number? Is it 13 games a season? Do you play? 13. Yeah, it is 13 games, isn't it? I forget now. Peter says he's not alone. Wife and kids and a King Charles snoring on the couch all the time. Lord Benson doesn't live on his own, but we're more than happy to help out with what you said about people on their own. Tony saying, right, you naughty lot, since you flung me into the 70s, I'm going to have to binge on Blake 7. Andy says, get the family Zoom in the game too. I wonder, I can't see my wife wanting to kind of read through a fighting fantasy story, that's for sure. Tony saying, just Edward and him over Christmas. Yeah, if we've got a few folks that are just kind of at a bit of a loose end and we want to do something a bit different, it might be nice to throw some extra live streams in or something like that. They're not too hard. Even if it's just a case of just hanging out and having a natter, we could maybe do something like that. Again, as I've mentioned before, this is like these are never about getting like sort of loads of views. These are just like community stuff, getting people together, having a bit of a natter of a hangout, like our Christmas one tonight. So yeah, even if it's only a small amount of people, I'd rather people had kind of some contact and something to kind of to do together over the Christmas and New Year period, rather than nothing at all. So yeah, let me know, folks, if it's something that you want me to do. Where was this one up to? Joachim says, just him and the wife and the kids, both Christmas and New Year's Eve. His wife was supposed to work on Christmas night, but she managed to swap. That's lucky, mate, isn't it? Yeah. Andy's saying, brilliant idea, can't have peeps alone. Yeah, it's just something like, it's just, like I say, it's not that you look forward to kind of this kind of, I don't know, maybe you do look forward to these live streams, but it's just a way to get folks together. You can't do it face to face at the moment. So yeah, well, let's just try and, even if it's just something as a bit, it's like, I know when I use like other people's live streams, sometimes it's just a bit of company, and there's something different about like being in a live stream where you can interact with it rather than like watching a pre-recorded video, I think. So yeah, if folks want it, I'll do something. Lord Maiden says, I live with my mum and brother, but apart from the morning and Christmas dinner, we often do our own thing, so I'll probably be painting on Christmas Day. Yeah, I mean, other than the fact that obviously we've got the little one and stuff, you do end up just kind of like sitting about, especially if you haven't got family round and stuff. You just end up kind of hanging out and playing with the kids' toys and stuff, really. Crabby's saying, fun fact, a player called Crabtree played for 49ers. I have the same surname and had a jersey with his name on randomly as a profile pic on Facebook. A while back, I walked to 1,000+ friends. Nice one, mate. Christian says, not long for Christmas, but I happily join in. Nice one, mate. Andy said, I think these are so funny. I bet 30% is about gaming. To be honest, mate, I'd be surprised if even 30% is about gaming most of the time. This is why I'll have the streams where we have a specific topic and we'll stay on track and that kind of stuff, and we'll talk about things. But then there's the other ones, like these ones, where they're literally just a case of like this is just the gang hanging out kind of thing. James says, don't put yourself down, mate. I'm sure a lot of people look forward to live streams. I try and arrange everything to be in any evening except Mondays and Wednesdays. It's really kind of you to say so, mate. What's funny for me is like I'm on the opposite side of it, really. So I've got no idea how people react to them. Is it just something where they just go, oh, I'm going to sit and paint. Oh, it's on. I'll put it on because I'm sitting painting kind of thing. Or do people go, all right, like Monday, like Monday is my night where I sit and watch the live stream. I've got no concept of. I mean, we get good numbers. If I've got a particular topic that's more popular, we'll obviously get more numbers because we get like more random people in who've never been to a live stream before and that kind of stuff. But like Wednesdays, for example, and then these kind of like community, like rambly Monday ones as well, we get a pretty solid kind of like 70-ish people in, and it's generally the same kind of faces and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good. I enjoy doing them, mate. ER910, greetings. He said, I'll try and get his family to play a Munchkin for Christmas after we watch Wonder Woman. Is that coming out on HBO or something like that? Is it on Christmas? I can't say most of which were fans. They think you were the real deal, mate. Is that what it was? Tony says, just realised I should be in Florida right now. We're going to spend Christmas and New Year there. Do you know what, mate? It's not that long ago. Like, we must have been talking maybe September. We were potentially talking going abroad for Christmas and New Year. Thinking like, oh, by the end of the year, things will have eased off a little bit. God, how wrong we were. John Essel says it's at least 80% food and drink. It kind of is, mate. It's probably 80% food and drink. It's probably 10% just other stuff, and 10% wargaming. I think that's probably about that's the average amount at the minute. And 80% of the food and drink is probably 60% bacon sandwiches, to be fair. Robert Zunk says, my wife wants me to ask, what's figgy pudding? Do you know what it is, mate? I'm not sure what figgy pudding is. I'm assuming it's some kind of like a bit like a Christmas pudding made with figs. You know, like dried. Are figs dried? Are they dried dates? Is that right? Or are dates dried something else? I can't even remember what figs are now. Andy saying, I sit and watch. Nice one, Andy. Thank you very much. Lord Maiden saying, these can be the best streams when I go into the non-gaming topics and you really see what people like. Do you know what it is, mate? It's like it's been a year where there's not been a huge amount of gaming stuff to talk about, and I think what the risk then is you end up either only talking about the hugely popular stuff, of which every other channel kind of does, or you end up just repeating yourself all the time. So sometimes actually just like we all have a common interest. We all like gaming. We all like lots of different types of games. We all like painting miniatures. We all like modelling or kit bashing or even just hanging out and talking about it. That brings us all together. But then we don't always have to talk about that all the time. Like we come together for that, But then we just talk about random stuff and the fact that we all have different types of food and drink and stuff all over the world. It's for me, it's really nice to see a group of people come together and like, you like, I think what we've got, how can I put this? We've got a group of folks who are coming here, but are not just saying, well, he's not talking about wargaming. Like, that's what I come for, so I'm not staying, kind of thing. And that's quite interesting. I don't really see that kind of community stuff elsewhere. You might do it in normal, just like sort of like gaming communities or something like that, but I don't really see it from a live stream perspective. People might do it in Facebook groups and stuff like that, but yeah, you don't really see it on live streams so much. Scott saying, do you Lou still want a curry battered bun and bring it over? Definitely, mate, 100%. Annie Smith says, couldn't concentrate on hobby while I'm taking a piss. I get a bit like that on a Wednesday, mate, when I'm sitting painting. I often get distracted. Lord Maiden says, normally it boils down to we are all as mad as each other. I think that helps, mate, yes. Carrie says, funny because he's... where was this one? Funny because he's black, high-level male athletic specimen, and I'm a balding, podgy Geordie. So not similar at all, then, mate. Adam says, I'm looking forward to Crudes 2 coming out soon, Boxing Day. I've not even heard of Crudes 1, mate. I didn't never mind a Crudes 2. Tony Booth says, figgy pudding is a steamed pudding made with figs, apple, brandy, and other bits. There you go, mate. I knew somebody would know. I didn't. EL910 says, I work from home, so I bounce between YouTube and Twitch on my second screen. I see the notification for your stream and pop in. At least I know the notifications are working. Thank you very much, mate. Adam's saying, figgy pudding is part of a Christmas song. It is, mate, yeah. I'm trying to think which song it is now. That's We Wish You a Merry Christmas, isn't it? That's what song it is. Tom Perez says, I really enjoy these chats, like having my buddies over the house, and beer, I think I'll have another. I'll tell you what, mate, to that I'll have another as well, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. I mean, I'm not getting to have like friends over and stuff like that. I'm not getting to gaming groups or playing games or anything. This is my social circle. Like, it might be my job now, but this is also my kind of like, you're allowed to enjoy work, aren't you? That's what it is. Oh. Right, cheers, folks. Number 2 on the list. Tony Howell says, 80 to 90% of my time is either me or me and my son. Your live streams are a lifeline, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you, Tony. I honestly, I can't see it. Well, although you might think I can't see into everybody else's homes and stuff, and I don't know what people's situations are and things like that. So I never know how these live streams are taken, whether they're just like, I just put them on for some noise while like in the background because it's not on the telly or something. But then to hear things like that, like it's nice. I don't really know what to say about it. It's nice that they help other people. If it helps one person, then they're worth doing. If it helps more than one, then even more so. Marcus is saying, dates are small fruit and so are figs, but they're not the same thing. There you go, mate. Food is not for somebody that talks about food an awful lot, it's not my specialist subject. Andy Smith says, how many messages do you get in the chat on one of these? I've got no idea, mate. I don't think it ever counts them up, the amount of chat. I've got no idea how many chats it gets. It doesn't get a lot of questions like as a playback or anything like that. But yeah, I've got no idea, mate, if I'm perfectly honest. Adam says, go and watch it. It's a kids' movie about cavemen. I'll have to check it out, mate. I've never heard of it. Figgy pudding is Viennetta, but with loads of figs. Jim says, did someone say brandy? Go on then. I'm not a fan of brandy, mate. I must admit, I'm definitely a whiskey or a rum man. We're getting into the details now. Marcus says, dates grow on a type of palm tree, and figs grow on a large-leafed short tree. Do you know what it is? If I saw them both, I still wouldn't know which was which. William Jones says, after my minis were stolen, I didn't realise you had minis stolen, mate. I resolved to just do limited armies in 6mm scale to paint less and play more. Of course, it all went awry, and I have hundreds of time-consuming 28mm and shoe boxes of 15mm. I didn't realise you'd had stuff stolen, mate. I'm sorry to hear that. Andrew says, so what Wassail. I've never even heard of wassail, mate. ER910 says he's finishing his coffee. Cheers. Cheers to you, mate. Chink. There. Let's just do a little cheers. There you go. Lobin says, I actually love the chats. It brightens up my day. Adam Edgar, I've just saw that you did a super chat there, mate. Thank you very much, mate. He says, watch the Croods with your family. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much, sir. Very, very kind. And I promise I will watch the Croods now. I've never even heard of it. So there you go. I'll take that as a recommendation. Sorry, Lord Main was I actually love the chat. It brightens up my day. Just don't let me add caramel drizzle to cereal again. Work can't handle the random stuff I come up with. Caramel drizzle on cereal. I think I could try that. Mark says, if you enjoy your job, it's not work. It's just your job. You're right, mate. I agree with that as well. Peter says, wassailing is just carol singing. How you speaking a foreign language? I've never even heard of that before. Tony says it's singing, pretty much carol singing, walking around a village. Usually got paid in beer. Wow, I have never heard of that. Mark says, do what you love and love what you do. I'll be honest, folks. I mean, this is probably as good a time as any to say it, really. If it wasn't for you folks coming in every week to these live chats and to the Wednesday streams and watching my videos, if it wasn't for the donations, if it wasn't for the Patreons, all those things is what's made this possible for me to do this full time. And there's not I've had some ups and downs this year purely just because of the situation that everybody's in. And some days I've kind of let it get on top of me and I've been a bit down about it. And some days I've kind of forgot about it and I've been much more motivated and I've kind of forgot about it. But on the whole, I absolutely love what I do, and I hope I can continue to do this for as long as possible and for as long as I can. So I just wanted to kind of say thank you, every single one of you that have supported me in whatever way, whether you've supported me previously, whether you support me now, or whether you support me in the future, and be that financially, or whether that is just by coming and watching the videos and commenting on the videos and liking the videos and sharing the videos with friends. All of those things really, really do help. So yeah, just thank you, everybody. Like it's a nice time of year to kind of reflect on the year that's been, and if I just reflect on my sort of where I am now versus where I was this time last year from a work position and from doing the YouTube stuff, like it's a dream come true. So thank you, every single one of you. John saying it's an old word for carol singing. I have never heard that, folks. Robert says, yeah, right now just my wife and I, so this chat helps a lot. Well, let's try and squeeze some extra ones in, even if it's just an extra one on New Year's Day or something like that, just something to get everybody together. We can have a little New Year's drink together. Carol sister bell ringer is cute though. Wassail is near Birmingham, is it really? I've never even heard of the place either. Krabby says, keep that stuff in the church and give me something with a guitar and a beat I can tap my toes to. Tony says, you'd be surprised how many people think pineapples grow on trees. Pineapples, I can't even, do you know what it is? I can't even think where pineapples do grow. I honestly, do you know what it is? My mind's blank. I don't think I even know that one. VG says, the live streams are part of my routine now. Wife knows Tuesdays and Thursday mornings are Andy, Wednesdays are Pete and Rowan. She must love you, mate. Edgy there saying, mate, your live stream banter is great. Got you on while making party for Christmas. Great crack. Love the happiness and fun chat. Thank you very much, mate. It's nice that, because I know you certainly never used to be. I don't think you not like a gamer or a model or anything like that. So you're purely just coming in because we know each other through work. So it's nice to kind of just get an alternative opinion as well. This lot that's in here kind of generally just put up with my rubbish anyway. But it's nice to get an alternative view as well. Thank you, mate. Jez says, wassail, it means good health. Vashail. Oh, so it's like that. And it's a drunken carol singing to bring good health, or sort of sacrifice to the good of the apple orchids. I tell you what, I love the fact that you lot have got a very varied historical references. You keep me right anyway. VG says, I stroll to make hobby time in my day otherwise. Yeah, you do tend to you're definitely a bit of an early bird, I think, me, aren't you? Krabby says, Croods is pretty good for the kids, to be fair. I'm sure it's something me and Jackson can sit and watch together. That'll be all right. Rob saying, just found out the whiskey in the cupboard was not for drinking. All whiskey's for drinking, mate. What was it for? It's not for setting fires with, is it? VJ says, you've got to enjoy what you do, Andy, especially when you're self-employed. take that from a 20-year vet. Yeah, I mean, it's taken some getting used to. There's all of the kind of the financial side of record keeping and kind of doing taxes and all that kind of stuff that I've got to kind of bear in mind. I've not like actually taken a wage this year. Everything I've earned is like in the business pot, basically, in case I need to buy things, like in case my camera breaks or I need new lights or a game comes up that I really want to do something with for the channel and stuff. So I've not actually taken any wages out of it. I've been living off what savings I had from before I started. So it's kind of weird, really. It's not like I'm paying myself a wage every month, but I absolutely love it. So it's not like I'm doing this for the money. Of course, I need some money to make it work financially and make it long-term sustainability. But it's a very different mindset now to doing this because I love it and not doing it because or not doing a job because I need the money to pay the bills and to keep the car on the road and all that kind of things. It's a really strange situation, and it's taken me a long time to get my head around actually that I'm doing something I love every day kind of thing. It's kind of weird. Mike G says, anyone know about a game called Heavy Gear Blitz? It looks to be a mech game like Battletech. I found some on eBay and never heard of it. Needless to say, you should have some by the end of the week. I have heard of it, mate, actually, and I do remember it being some kind of mech thing, but I don't know much about the game. I remember the aesthetic of it, and I think it was kind of like a successor to Battletech when Battletech wasn't really around. Andy Smith says, do you miss bog roll? I don't miss it in the slightest, mate. I'd been there for too long, I think. I got to a point where I felt like everything I did was just repeating stuff that I'd done many, many times before. And yeah, I must admit there's not one day gone by I've missed it. It's funny because obviously my wife still works at the same company, so I'll sometimes overhear her if she's on like a conference call or a meeting or something like that, and I'll hear her talking about stuff that I used to kind of be involved in, and I kind of like walk past and think, my God, I do not miss that in the slightest. It was getting made redundant was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was unbelievable. So yes, I do not miss it in the slightest, mate. The only thing I do miss, actually, if I'm perfectly honest, I miss working with people. But I think actually, in the grand scheme of things, if I hadn't sort of left the old job and I hadn't been doing this and I'd still been doing the old job, I might still feel that way because obviously everybody is separated. They're not getting together. They're not in meetings. They're not like, I used to be away from home quite a lot. I would stay overnight in hotels and would meet up and have beers and have a meal together and stuff, or we'd do stuff as a group, and or me and the team that used to work together would maybe go places and stuff. So I miss that kind of the social aspect of it, but I'm not sure that I wouldn't have had that anyway if I'd still been there. So hopefully once things get back to normal, I think the social aspect that I'm missing at the minute in this new job, I think will start to come back because I'll be visiting people. I'll be having people here to play games with me. I'll be going to visit people to play games. I'll be going to companies to meet people. I'll be going to conventions and stuff. So that's what I miss. I miss the social interaction. But I think maybe everybody's missing that at the moment. Nick Two Jokes yelling, hello mate, how you doing? He's swinging in at the end just to say Merry Christmas to all. Hope you have a fantastic time. Eat, drink and be very, very merry. Merry Christmas to you, mate. Thank you for popping in. Lord Maiden says, thanks Andy, you help us a hell of a lot too. It's very kind of you, mate. Thank you. Krabby says, you're like a good version of Night Owls, mate. Night Owls will be lost on the vast majority of people. So, folks, for those that don't know what Night Owls is, there's Metro Radio is a local radio station in the northeast, and every night, Sunday to Thursday, I think it was, there was a guy called Alan Robson would do Night Owls, which was kind of like a phone-in show. I think it was like 10 till 2 in the morning or something like that. And it was something as a kind of young person in the northeast, you grew up like basically like going to bed and then like listening to Night Owls on your headphones on a little radio or something like that. And it had the people that would call into this kind of like radio show had the weirdest stories. They were always just stuff like, so I went to the shops today, like, and you'll never guess what happened. I got loads of shopping and then the bag split and all my food went all over the floor. Thanks, Alan. Yeah, that's it. It was just random shit that people would ring up and call in for. But it was like compulsive listening. I couldn't not listen to Night Owls. Jason says, Andy, is bog roll like Arctic roll? Arctic roll is much more posh, mate, than there. But if you've had a curry, Arctic roll is much more useful than bog roll. Where are we at now? Yes, Krabby saying Arctic bog roll, bit chilly on the arse. William Jones says these streams do provide a camaraderie. I get that impression, mate. Yeah. George is saying, here we come. I have heard it now. Now I know what you mean. I have heard that before. Adam says, pineapples grow in the ground like a carrot. There you go. I'm not even sure I knew that. There you go. Mark says, well impressed with my Malifaux minis. My missus said my airbrush kit came today, but I can't have it till his birthday. When's your birthday, mate? I hope it's not too long away. William saying, try cognac. Everything brandy promises but fails to deliver. I always fancied like having like, you know, you can get some really expensive cognacs. I've always wanted to kind of try like a good one. But I think I'll just stick to whiskey and rum, I think. VG says, love might be an exaggeration, but she certainly tolerates me. And you can't complain about that. Nice one, mate. Joachim says, you and the community helps a lot. It motivates me, gives me great hobby, and it's supportive and fun. I read a lot of the chats, and I wish I could chat more. I'm just a bit slow at it. I think it doesn't help, mate, that for some people that come in here as well, like English isn't their first language. And I'm not even sure what I speak could be considered English sometimes. I think you do more than well enough, mate, to keep up. Don't you worry about that. Bobby says there's only 3 of us celebrating Christmas at mine, but I've got some video calls with other artists late Christmas Day when the beers will be flowing. Hobby community is pretty cool. I think so, mate. Tend to look out for each other, don't they? Tony saying pineapples grow out the ground, having massive sharp leaves. I assume that with the leaves they must kind of come out the ground. But then I can't even I can't picture one. I don't think I've ever seen one growing, if I'm honest. He says, I learned this from a Bond film where someone runs through a field of them. There you go, I must have missed that one, mate. CXG says, sorry I missed the chat tonight. Good evening, mate. He's been busy wrapping the presents with a wife. Wanted to wish you all a happy Christmas. Hope you'll have a great one and a great 2021. Love the thumbnail, Andy. Thank you, mate. There was some website where you could put your photograph in and it would put your face on a Santa. So I thought, yeah, we'll just use that for tonight. Krabby says, I have cheese and beers and wines. That isn't for drinking and eating. It's for Christmas, apparently. Happens every year. I saw something on Facebook tonight which essentially said, this is the week where you have a house full of food that you're not allowed to eat. Yes. Tony saying, spaghetti grows on trees. and ham grows on bushes, doesn't it? That's why you get a ham bush. Robert says there was some sort of chocolate drops for his wife is making. Nice, mate. Simon says, you're miles better off in life where you are, mate. Life's not a dress rehearsal. Love every day. Be happy, guys. Everyone watching. Andy's an amazing person who wants to do what makes him happy, and by doing so makes us happy. Thank you very much, Simon. That is really, really kind of you. Simon and I worked together pretty much for the entire time I worked in a company, and we worked quite closely together on a number of different things. And Simon even worked in my team as well for a few years as well. So yeah, it's nice that you say that, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well as well, mate. I've obviously not heard anything about what you've been up to or how work is or any of that kind of stuff. So I hope you're well as well, mate. James is saying that his mother-in-law does that. Nothing's for eating until Christmas, and then she wants us to eat 9 meals worth of treats after dinner. Yeah, then there's that mad rush, isn't there, to get it all eaten before it goes out of date. George says, keep on doing what you're doing, Andy. Have a great time with the family over the festive period. I plan to, mate. Yeah, we're off tomorrow. The little one's got a haircut in the morning because he's long overdue. He looks like he's got a crash helmet on. So the little one's got a haircut in the morning, and then we're going to this like Santa's Grotto Winter Wonderland thing at Annick Gardens tomorrow. In the like sort of tea time-ish, 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that. So yeah, that'll be a nice thing to do, like the 3 of us together to do that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Chat's going backwards and forwards. VJ says, speaking of quirky little games, anyone ever play Rivet Wars? I love the look of the minis and was keen to play a couple of years ago. I've heard the name, mate, but I don't know anything at all about the game. James Brace says, Night Owl sounds like Alan Partridge. Do you know what it is, mate? If it's kind of like Alan Partridge, but without the laugh track. So it was like deadly serious. Some of the conversations that like people used to ring up with, I'm sure it was just like people who were lonely and just needed somebody to talk to. But people would ring up, and the thing they always said was, "Hello, Alan, I'm a bit nervous. I'm a first time caller," and that was like a bit of a standing joke thing. I'm a first time caller and I'm a bit nervous. But then they would ring up and it was like, I haven't really got anything to talk about. I just wanted to ring up. I just wanted to talk to you. This was like 5 nights a week this was on. Peter says, if you come this far south to play games, please bring your unwanted Christmas puds and mince pies. Do you also want the strawberry chocolates as well, mate? I don't eat like strawberry sweets out of Roses or Quality Street and stuff as well. You can have them too. Tony saying, night owls, I'm getting flashbacks now. Yes, man. Mark said, I think I just pissed my cat off. I put Santa hat on her and she swiped it off and left my room. Simon says, hey, why not try radio? I wouldn't even know where to start, mate. Bit of chat there. Can you get a bug roll hedgehog? I reckon you could definitely stick cocktail sticks and stuff in it. Do you mean one like with the cheese and the pickled onions on and stuff? Mike P is, hello Mike. He says, I found your channel looking for Armada content, but I have to ask if you ever covered War Cradle Studios games such as Wild West Exodus. I did a live stream a while ago. Hello Mike, by the way. I did a live stream a while ago, which was explaining sort of how to get into Wild West Exodus, and I went through the kind of the basics of the game and stuff, and the different factions and stuff. I did just touch on Wild West Exodus. I just did a video about 5 games, sort of fantastic lore for games that weren't Warhammer, and I did touch on Wild West Exodus and that as well. And I've actually got some Wild West Exodus stuff that's kind of on the back burner, really. The idea was to get it finished and do some gameplay stuff, but we all know how that's panning out. However, if I can reach it from here, because I was just taking some photographs tonight. Let me just... I do have some of the Wild West Exodus terrain that I've been painting up, and I'm in the middle. Actually, it's partway through filmed. It needs the audio doing over the top on quick ways how to paint up the War Cradle terrain. So yeah, I think at some point, mate, it'll come back around again. But at the minute, I'm kind of focusing on content that I can do on my own. I'm not getting the opportunity to kind of get people in to film stuff with me at the minute. So yeah, it probably will come back around again, mate. Lord Maiden says, I do like a baked Alaska, but then I would have an ice cream with anything. Simon says, that's a great night owl importation. Yes, night owls, mate. God, bloody hell. That does take me back. I think did he only retire quite recently? I assume he retired anyway. I don't know whether he was fired or something. I think he was retired, but he'd done something like about 40 years in radio or something like that. Where are we up to? Pineapples grow like carrots. There they go. They grow on a small squat bush. I've got no idea, mate. I've got no idea. Tom Ferris says, a very Merry Christmas to all of you. Stay well and cheers. Have a safe and happy holidays. Take care, Tom. Thank you very much for popping in tonight. Adam says, if you cut the top of a pineapple, you can plant them to regrow. Yeah, we're not known for growing the pineapples up here in the northeast. That's for sure. Marcus says, yeah, when I was 4 and I found out... Yeah, he's trying to rub it in now, mate. When I was 4 and I found out pineapples didn't grow on trees, it blew my mind. Marcus says, his birthday is the 3rd of January. I think I could persuade her to let me have it before then. Just need to get a spray booth. To be honest, mate, you can get away with just spraying into a cardboard box or something if you want. It's just to catch the overspray, really. The spray booths are really, really handy, but don't feel the need to kind of like shell out a fortune like on day one, mate. Scott saying, well said, Simon. Yeah, Andy Smith saying you need to roll with it. Yes. I don't know if that's an Oasis reference, if it's a toilet roll reference, I don't know what it is. Tasty Brain Drain says, well, obviously I love these streams or else I wouldn't be here so regularly. That's one thing I do like, getting the regulars in. I mean, like I say, we sometimes have topics that like are a bit more focused and stuff. And we've had streams where there's been like 170, 180 people in, and that kind of blows me away that many people want to come and tune in like live and watch it and stuff. But to get I don't know, I can't see what we're up to now, but we generally get about 60 or 70 people, most the ones where it's not quite so focused. But those are like kind of like just the chatty community ones, the ones that just come for a bit of banter, really. I hope one of these days that instead of watching you while I'm at work, I can watch you while I'm painting something. I'll have to work out your time zones, mate, and see if we can do something on a different time zone. VJ says it looks like the downvoter isn't even taking Christmas off. Yeah, somebody said that earlier on as well. It's always nice to get them in. Simon saying the Louis XIII cognac, saving to buy one in the future, made famous by the film Cocktail, 5k bottle, lots of saving to do. I tell you what, mate, I think that's the one I always remember. Is it Louis Roder or something like that, isn't it? Yeah, those fancy kind of like sort of circular. They've got like a kind of like a dint in the middle, aren't they? Like almost like I would say like a donut shape, but you know what I mean, don't you? Yeah, I remember those ones, mate. Yeah, one day, if I win the lottery, mate, I'll treat you to one. Peter says the downvoter stuck really early. He just wanted to pop in. Wasn't a big fan of Christmas, apparently. Peter says, anyone seen the new Warlord Games small scale ACW stuff? People going nuts about what scale it is. I did see that they sent an email out. I get like the press release stuff and that, and I saw they sent an email out about it. What is it? Are people going nuts in a good way or are people going nuts in a bad way, mate? About the scale. Jess says, Pete, I hear they're getting cold for Christmas. Tony says, I used to work at Radio Tees back in the day and occasionally worked on their version of Night Owls with Graham Robb. Loved the madness of late night phone-ins. It's always so random. I never understand. Like, I never understand how they are so popular now, looking back on them, really. Because there was, like, every now and again you would get, like, a bit of a juicy story where you'd go, oh, it's going to be a good one, this one. But most of the time, it was just mundane. And I hate to say it, but sometimes it was people that, like, maybe needed a little bit of help and support, and maybe shouldn't have been kind of, like, airing their stories to the entire nation. Simon says you can't suck anything through a wrapper. Plug up. Buck roll back to wood in a second. Wrapper plug ups, God, that's taking me back now, mate. Corey says just researching pineapple growing, and it turns out they look like large thistles in a row. Who knew? Tony says Wild West Exodus is on my hit list of fabulous minis. I'm in the middle of painting up my my Wayward 8 at the minute. So, and I did paint up. I don't know if they're all behind me on there. All my Red Oak starter box is all up there as well. Jim says I just found it tonight that pineapples didn't grow on trees. I know that's what I hadn't given it any thought either, mate. I just thought they grew on supermarket shelves. That's what I thought. John Estel says is there not some loophole? Oh, sorry, Peter's saying what grows on pine trees then? Just pines, mate. I think, isn't it? Pine cones. John Estel says, is there not some loophole as it's your work to play games now? Technically, there is, mate. So because it's work, I technically can still class playing games as work. So in the way that people like Beasts of War still filming, or people like, what they called, like Tabletop Tactics, they're still filming. Technically, because they have paid employees, they can still film because it's work. The problem I've got is, this is just me and my business. So anybody that comes to my house, they're not working, basically. It's not their job. It's my job, but it's not their job. So unfortunately, that's the technical loophole, and that's how some people are getting around it, I suppose. But following to the letter of the law, if I was to stick to exactly the rules, I can't have anybody to my house. And because I'm not filming in a studio that's somewhere else, my house is my place of work, and that's where it gets really, really complicated, mate. And that's why I'm sure I could probably, if I really wanted to kind of stretch it a bit, I could probably say, well, somebody is coming to volunteer to work with me for the day or something like that. But to be honest, all it takes is some neighbour to say they've got people coming round and all that kind of stuff. John says, I'm also not sure whether this pineapple stuff is a joke, trying to convince me they don't grow on trees when they do. I know exactly what you mean, mate. Tasty Brain Drain saying he's in the US Central Time, 6 hours behind. Okay, mate. 6 hours behind. So I assume you need me to go later into the night then in that case, don't you? Tony saying I used to use a cardboard box. Yeah, I did when I first got mine, mate. I used a cardboard box as well. Pine nuts. The ones in Pesto. Oh, yeah, I never thought of pine nuts. Simon Ed says, Alan Robertson, born 1955, MBE, no less. He wrote 5 books. He used to do, like, the Sunday through to Thursday, and then didn't he do, like, a rock show on a Saturday as well? The guy, like, and he used to, like, raise money for charity all over the place. I think the guy never stopped working, pretty much. Bob says, just like listening, I like to listen and comment now and again. Just so we know you're still there, mate. It's good to hear from you as well. If there's anybody in tonight, because we've got about 60-something people in. If there's anyone in tonight that's not chatted at all tonight, you've never chatted before, you just like to listen in the background, just give me a little hello. Just type hello into the chat and say hello. It'd be nice to see if we've got some folks in that are just quiet lurkers in the background tonight. Peter says, nuts in a bad way. Apparently Warlord Games... Or in a bad way. Apparently, Warlord Games said they were 13.5mm to the eye. So now the 10mm folk are mad because they're too big, and the 15mm crowd say it's too small. Stuck right in the middle here. Simon says he's loving Mandalorian after finding on the internet. Not quite up to date yet. I'll not spoil it for you, mate. But yeah, it gets even better, mate. This season 2 has been a right humdinger. It's been great, mate. Robert says, so many cool minis, not enough time. That's what happens, mate. Christian says, put me on a 0 hours contract with a rate of 1 pence a day. We can get some games in. Do you know what it is, though? Then I'm classed as an employer, and then it becomes a whole new ball game. At the minute, I'm a sole trader. That's much more easy for me to understand the tax liabilities of it. Adam says, cardboard boxes growing trees. They actually do, mate. Justin Ellaby, hello. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you for saying hello. ASTF's in the cardboard box crew here as well. Krabby saying, long time listener, first time caller. That was another Night Owls thing as well, wasn't it? VG says, right, time to go for a walk, grab a few last minute Christmas gifts for the missus. We'll be listening in, lurking for a change. Take care, VG, mate. Nice to see you in. Enjoy the rest of your day. James says, people like phoning shows like that to get their voice out there. Now they have Twitter. I wonder if that was the case. It was definitely the kind of place where if you were like thinking about conspiracy theories, that was the kind of place that you would call up, like, to be sure. Tom Ferris says, another central US time zone dweller here. It's going on 5 o'clock. I'll have to see if I can try at some point. It's hard, obviously, with like the family being in the next room and stuff like in the middle of the night. But I'll try and see if I can do... I might do like a charity stream one day so that I can kind of cover all the different time zones. That might be quite fun. Andy says, quiet lurkers, this is a war cry thing. No, it's just folks just kind of like to hang out and listen. Centaurus Art, good evening or good morning or good afternoon to you, mate. Thank you very much. Tasty Brain Drain says, either go later or do one over a weekend, or for me to take off a Monday or a Wednesday. I'll have to try and work something out, mate. We'll try and work something out. Peter says, I'm just happy that I have everything I want for Civil War stuff. ER910 says, Mandalorian makes me want to play skirmish Star Wars games. I know what you mean, mate. It definitely gave me... I'll tell you what, this is how much I enjoyed it. I actually watched The Last Jedi at the weekend. Not The Last Jedi, sorry. I watched The Rise of Skywalker at the weekend again. First time I've seen it since I saw it in the cinema. Robertson, it's 3 p.m. there as well. Wow, there you go. So there is quite a mix of time zones. And Marcus says, I'm a wanted man in the cardboard kingdom for massive box aside. Scott says, 24-hour live stream. I think that's what I might do at some point. I might do like a bit of a charity stream, and we'll do it for a good cause. Chuck and Deb Taylor says, doing some quiet lurking while drafting CAD, but decided to jump in and wish you all a wonderful Christmas. Keep the excellent and encouraging content. Cheers from Oregon. Thank you very much. Yeah, really nice to hear from you there as well. Tasty Brain Drain says, actually, I'm hoping to paint something on Memorial Day since it's always on Monday and I get that day off. Nice one. Take care, VJ. Peter's saying it would be awesome to see an Imperial Assault reskinned for the Mandalorian. Would pick it up instantly. It does make me wonder now with Atomic Mass Games taking over all of the Fantasy Flight Star Wars stuff, from a miniatures point of view anyway, it does make me wonder if we'll start to see some Mandalorian stuff coming through. Andy Smith says, right, kids, off to bed. Hope everyone has a good Christmas. Take care, mate. Thank you very much for coming tonight. Nice to see you as well. Krabby says, a Mandalorian kill team. I think that's where it would really work, wouldn't it? Rather than having big armies of stuff, having like kind of like that secret covert Black Ops type thing. I'm sure somebody will have reskinned like Rangers of Shadow Deep or something like that to use it. That would be the way to do it, I think. Peter saying it would sell pretty well. I think the problem is now's the time to strike, isn't it? Now's the time to kind of get in. Blizzard says, wow, another is it Oregonian? Is that right? Besides me and Mr. Zung. I tell you what, the kind of the breadth of kind of locations and places is unbelievable. Like we've definitely got some Aussies in. We've definitely got a few different time zones in the US. We've got Yorkham. Whereabouts are you? You're not I'm saying Finland, but I could be wrong there. Whereabouts are you, Yorkham, as well? We've got some real mix of locations and stuff. Belgium, Peter is as well. I forgot Peter was in Belgium. It's because you've got a name like Peter Koeman. It just sounds English. I forget you're in Belgium. Ted says, look at Die Hard miniatures for some suitable Mandalorian minis. Yorkham is Norway. Sweden. There it is. Yorkham's in Sweden. That's what it was. There's a few people. I know I've seen Scott printing off some Mandalorian stuff as well. That looked pretty good. So like some 3D printed stuff. Tony says, not seen Mandalorian. I don't have any streaming subs, so I just hear about it. My wife subscribed to Disney Plus for the little one to watch some Disney stuff when lockdown started, and then of course I started watching Mandalorian. So then it was a case of, I'll just keep that because I'm watching this. Because what I did was we subscribed to it when the second season started. So I went back and watched the first season first, and then watched the second season. ASDS in Iceland. So what we got? We've got Iceland. We've got Sweden. We've got Belgium. We've got many different states in America. We've got a few Northeast lads in as well tonight. We've got some. Did I say Belgium there as well? We've got a fair old there across the globe. Centaurius is in Colombia. Wow, there we go. So the time zones are all over the place. Lord Maiden says there's one from Wargame exclusive that looks like the main person from The Mandalorian with the child. I think that must be the model that I've seen, mate. That I've seen people doing. Kieran's just saying he just finished painting his Moff Gideon model for Legion. Check out Skullforge Studios for the sculpted. Pretty much every episode next day there's models. Is there really, mate? Do they sell the models, mate, or do they sell the STL files for them? We got Just a Card. Justin, he says, hi from Sarawak. Where's Sarawak, mate? It's not a name I'm familiar with. Whereabouts is that? Scott says, if you've got a smartphone, you can download MovieBox Pro for free. I should have said that out loud, really, should I? But there you go. I've just said it now. Watch the stream get taken down now for copyrighted advertising. So folks, we're coming up to 11 o'clock now. So I think we'll start to wind up a little bit. Tasty Brain Train said I subscribed to Disney Plus when it first started just to watch The Mandalorian. I think what I did was, mate, I think I waited until the first season was finished. And then I knew the second season was coming, so I kind of hung on a bit. So we subscribed to Disney Plus, I think when the second season started. But I've kept it going because I've been really enjoying it. Tony says, just found the Tick on Amazon. 4 episodes in, it's brilliant. The Tick's pretty good, actually, yeah. Kieran saying, it's STLs and I have links to printed versions as well. Just of course, in Sarawak is in Borneo Island in Asia. Wow, mate. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We definitely have touched all different corners of the globe. Can you have corners of a globe? It never sounds right when you say that. Marcus is saying, so Merry Christmas and to all a good night. Just wanted to say that before the stream ends. And ASDF is saying the production spent too much on CGI for Tick's costumes, so they were cancelled. Wowzers. And Ted saying, cheers everyone, have a great Christmas. Simon says, off to finish the wine rack, Andy, working every gamer, every human, a happy festive season. Love you and your family, mate. You too, mate. Take care, mate. Thank you very much for coming in tonight. It's been awesome to briefly catch up anyway, and take care. And I hope you have a good Christmas as well, mate. Scott saying Flat Earther. And Ponty saying, yes, Merry Christmas to everyone. Right, folks, I think that is a perfect time to wrap it up. Again, thank you very much to every single one of you. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. I will speak to you on Wednesday if you're around as well, so I'll see you before. If anybody would like to check out my Patreon, that's what pays the bills, that's what keeps this going. Please do check it out. Thank you very much, Christian. I knew you would share it there for me. I think I'm at like 109 Patreons. It would be awesome to end the year at like 110 or maybe more. So if anybody would like to check it out, it starts from $2 a month. That gets you access into our private Discord chat, which is kind of like an extension of this, to be fair. So yeah, thank you very much, folks. I will see you all on Wednesday. And if I don't see you Wednesday, have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And if you did, why not consider clicking on the suggested video below to see more of the work that I've done. If you'd like to support the long-term sustainability of this channel, why not consider checking out my Patreon, where you can pledge and support from as little as $2 a month, and there is lots of different tiers and bonuses which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you free t-shirts, free mugs, a podcast every month, and a number of other things, including getting your name at the end of every video, like these awesome folks who already support me now.